I even had rare footage, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to show that footage. But I had footage of me and Larry Bill, ex ESPN Sports Center dude. I had some video of me and him calling a game together at San Quentin. I'm like, nah, we won't go too big. Just we got a narrative we trying to get together. I sure appreciate you bringing me back too.
Yeah.
If I didn't say it before.
Definitely. Where's my stuff?
I gotta go.
Look, I'm live. Oh. You interrupted me.
Come on, I gotta go. Kim and hit somebody and hit up from the back, and she
look at my console. Bring me the money that's in the console. Just bring this all over here.
In the console?
Yeah. Let me make sure. Let me see. I don't even know I'm live or not. Oh, I'm live. Sonny, check the Facebook. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Urban Economic Empowerment Show. Let me get this stuff together. Y'all know I'm always all over the place, but I'm gonna get it together on this evening. All right, let me make sure this stuff is playing. The audio.
You going to
the audio, of course. The audio is right.
Mike, I'm out of it.
Let me make sure the audio is good. Y'all let me know if the sound is good out there in the Facebook, on the YouTube. So I can get this going. Let's see. Make sure you guys share the show. All right, so you guys know this evening, y'all know we've been doing a series celebrating our men out there who are doing phenomenal work in our community. And on this evening, I want to make sure we had a brother who kind of tipped in on our last Wednesday show, Mr. Showtime. And so on today, we're going to interview him. And we're going to bring you guys some powerful information. He's going to share with you what he has going on, where he's come from, what he's doing now, and any other bit of information that can help a brother or sister out there who may have tipped into the situation and then trying to find their way through. Let me share this link out because I got some people who are definitely needing to tune in to this. Also, at the end of the show, one of the things I want to do is go to some of the programmatic websites for reentry or share some ideas that you may be able to use that will help you in your transition, whether it's in employment, entrepreneurship, small business, things of that nature. Okay. So get excited. Make sure you guys share out there. I think we live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, two YouTube channels and Facebook, my own personal page, as well as the Dagger Squad. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I know you're coming off of another live stream on the Dagger Squad. You guys just shift your way on into this one and we make some things happen.
Make some pivots.
That's right. Yeah, go on, pivot your way on up in here. Okay. So I'm going to introduce to many. Hey, and then share with those who already know Mr. What do you want me to call you? Showtime, Aaron, Mr. Taylor. Who you want to go with?
Whatever you feel comfortable with. Aaron is fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, Aaron is fine. That's the name I was born with.
Phenomenal. So, Mr. Aaron, so I got introduced to Mr. Aaron by way of our sister Angel. Y'all know her. She's in our investment group doing some great things. I had the privilege of meeting her in New York probably about 2-3 years ago, doing some business, came out, do some leisure with Sinetta, and she just so happened to embrace our presence at a business presentation that I was participating in. So the sister's awesome. We've been in each other's circle since then. And so she graciously invited her peer, Mr. Aaron, to the show last weekend where we interviewed Lester. So we've given you guys 2 powerful shows thus far in reference to interviewing this particular demographic of successful men. The first show, we had Jay Scott on, who's the founder of Kings of Hope here down here in Charleston, South Carolina. And then we went on last week with Mr. Lester Young, who is the founder of Path to Redemption and the owner of Integrity Pressure Wash. And so this week, right, we want to introduce to you all something different and something that excited me because I am a basketball fan. Yes. I play ball in school, and this is Mr. Aaron Taylor, who is owner Elevated Entertainment.
Yeah, president and owner, and
President and owner of Elevated Entertainment. So let the crowd goes wild as Mr. Aaron comes in, tell you about who he is, give you a little background. I'm dominated by Callie on this panel right now. We're gonna make a change with that, okay? And I know Sonny probably super excited because he feels like he's always the outcast from the West Coast and the East Coast. So he got a battle buddy on the stream today. So, Mr. Aaron, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Today is day 47 of my returning back to society. It's been a wild ride, to begin with. So I'm gonna back up a little bit, just the context what you were saying, right? So in 1994, I was arrested. I had 20 counts, right? Back then, I was a pretty bad actor, ranging from attempted murder through robberies and stuff. And I was arrested, and I pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree attempted robbery and assault with a firearm. And I was sentenced to 50 to life under California 3 strikes law. And so instead of staying in, the first 7 years when I was incarcerated, I drifted around mentally and spiritually. I really didn't have no focus. I had become a Muslim before I came to jail, but I really wasn't studying then. And so the first 7 years, I was drifting around mentally, trying to figure out what route that I want to go with my life. And around 2001, during 9/11, I was at High Desert State Prison. And when 9/11 happened, they just threw all the Muslims in the hole. And me being a Muslim, I went in with them. And so it was during that time when I finally had like a wake-up call on, okay, what do I want to do? Well, I don't want to be a person who's straddling the fence between religion and the street life. So I dove head first into the religion. And I spent some years learning Arabic and a few other Semitic languages so I can get a deeper understanding of what the Quran and what the Bible was saying in Hebrew and Greek and whatnot. And during this transformation period, when I'm approaching these things from a spiritual nature, right? Mind you, like I said, in 94, I was a bad actor. So I still had a reputation that people knew about on the prison yard. And I happened to get transferred to a level 3 where it was really, really wild with a lot of youngsters. So I had to come out of the cell and come out of my shell with this spiritual covering that I put around myself. And for lack of a better phrase, I had to go deal with the niggas again, right? And in dealing with that, I created a basketball league. It was a 4-on-4 half-court league called the CBL. Now, back then, this was 2006, 2007, 2008. The CBL stood for Convicts All-Star Basketball League because that's what those youngsters wanted to be. Okay, we're going to play up to that. And I do play-by-play. I've been doing play-by-play at least since 1989, but really on a high level since 2006. And I told the guys, I said, listen, we're going to run 3 games a day, 5 days a week, and I'm going to do play-by-play for every game. But here's what you have to do in exchange for that. You go get your little homeboys and y'all put y'all teams together. Each team give me $25. I'm going to put the $25 in a bag and keep it up under my bunk, right? And at the end of the season, the winner going to get 80% of that bag, right? So based on my reputation, it's like, okay, we know him. He's not going to be trying to steal no money from us, so, okay, let's do this. Plus, I worked in the program office, and I kept a lot of dudes from going to the hole. And so the first season we had was phenomenal. We had an all-star game with a dunk contest and everything. And it got to the point when we would put on these big events, basically in a league that we created. We got all of the races to come around the basketball court, even though we were separated by race when it came down to actual activities. Okay. And then the guards would come around as well. And then on a couple of occasions, we had the captains and an associate warden come down just to see what we were doing, right? But the goal for me, the whole time, the goal for me was I was just trying to get to Juma service on Friday. And y'all keep fighting, and I can't get to my service on Friday to find me a sense of peace. Yeah. So I took advantage of what Caesar and them did. Okay, when the people are hungry and they ready to revolt, give them something to do. Right. And so I created the basketball league, and I used my voice. Now, flash forward a bit. I get to San Quentin when my points go down. There's a point system in California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations, where the higher your points are, that's the higher security level you're at, and you have to work your way down. And so I worked my way down till I got to San Quentin at the end of 2011. And I go out to the basketball court. I'm going to do play-by-play like I normally do. I go to the court, put my back up against the pole. The court is out here, and the game is taking place here, and I just start calling the game. Right. And one of my partners from Venice, Isaiah Caldwell, goes by the name of Cap. He walked up to me. He said, "Hey, man, you know Bob Myers from the Golden State Warriors comes up here and plays basketball." Man, get out of here, man. Are you serious? You know Golden State Warriors coming up in no prison to play no basketball. He said, "No, I'm serious. I'm serious. It's a heart attack." He said, "The general manager for the Golden State Warriors comes up here to play basketball, and I'm going to introduce you to him." I'm like, "What?" I ain't never been scared of nothing. My heart beating like this in my chest. Yeah. The pros? Okay. So when he comes, I can't be at the first game because I'm working on Death Row Chow Hall. And the guy that's in front of me, my supervisor, he and I are the only two who know the number programs on the trays and whatnot. So when Bob Myers shows up the first time, I can't do the game, right? Whoa. But he heard about me. They told him, they said, "Hey, man, you got to hear this guy, man." They call him Showtime, you know. And so they had the first inaugural San Quentin Warriors versus Golden State Warriors coaching staff game later that year. And that was Draymond Green's rookie year. So they bring Draymond Green in. He's, you know, walking around the prison yard. He's looking. He doesn't look scared, you know. Come to find out when he told us later on, he said, "Man, I got uncles in the pen in Michigan, man. Y'all ain't scaring me. Matter of fact, where the domino table at, bro?" He went to the domino table. He got served, and he started serving, right? Yeah. But that first game that I didn't have any audio equipment like I did the whole time I'd been in prison. I didn't get any audio equipment until the following year in 2013. And that was when everything started going up to a higher level, because now I have audio equipment, so I don't have to project my voice like I did when you're in a rap contest or something like that. And so now I can speak, and I can slow down, and I can get my cadence together, you know, and I can flow my voice with the flow of the game, right? And so by the time 2015 came around, Bob got at me. He said, "Man, when you get ready to get out, let me know what's going on. You know, I want to help out." And so the owner of the Warriors, Joe Lacob, his two sons, Kurt and Kent, they play in the game. I've met them. We talked. You know, I have a tryout coming on later this year or at the beginning of next year with the Santa Cruz Warriors as well. Yeah. And this is like the basketball portion of it, to where I took what I was doing from the spiritual aspect and then started applying it in sports, because I also coach football. I coach basketball. I referee. I do anything that you can possibly imagine with sports. And I started using that spiritual science, though, to bring people together who normally wouldn't be together, away from the court or away from the field. Right. And I started getting recognition for that. I got certificates from different prisons where I was doing this stuff at. But the main thing, I guess, is I never went into it looking for those type of accolades until I got to where the Warriors was at. I did. But along the path, I wasn't looking for accolades. I was just simply trying to get to my services on Friday. And that's how it turned out. You know, it turned out to be something bigger than what I thought it would be.
Let me ask you, how long had you already served before you decided? Because you said when you first went in, the 911 deal kind of put you in a tight spot from the Muslim perspective, because they wanted to treat them a certain type of way. How long had it been since that happened?
So I got arrested in 94, and 9/11 happened in 2001. So that was a 7-year period.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. And that was the period during the time I was floating around, because like I said, I became a Muslim in 1992, right after the Rodney King uprisings. I was looking for some type of guidance, you know,
Right.
because
Okay.
it was hectic during that time. And when I went into prison, I still got this street rep. You know, I'm still Doc. That was my name back then. I'm still Doc, so I'm moving like Doc, but I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, well, you became a Muslim, so you know, what are you gonna do? And you can't be both inside of a prison system. You're gonna choose one or the other because of the way the politics are set up. And
Right.
so it just came about that I made a choice where it was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with Islam and I'm gonna drive this car and I'm gonna leave the gangbanging alone. And even though I did, there were still people who knew me from that who allowed me to use that reputation to do good with now instead of bad. That's how I was
Right.
able to muscle that basketball league together the way I did with a few other cats in my age group. It wasn't just me solo. You know,
Yeah.
it took 6 or 7 other dudes to go to their little homeboys and influence them, tell them, hey, look, man, go be a part of this league, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys can get some money at the end. Plus, it'll keep us out of trouble. You know, let's start focusing on something bigger. So it wasn't just me. I would just happen to be the face of it.
Right.
Right.
Let me ask you, because that actually kind of well, it kind of changed the atmosphere. How was that with the institution and the guards and the leadership? Because seems to me when I get information back in reference to those who've been under the same circumstances, it's as if they don't want them to be rehabilitated. It's as if when you start to do good, they take privileges away. Did you guys run into that situation where basketball in that time period became the thing to do and everybody's excited about it, and so things are going well, and then all of a sudden obstacles get in the way due to leadership just basically um just hating, so to speak?
Not at the institutions and prisons I was at.
Okay.
I'm listen. I'm anti anything dealing with locking people up for a long time for little or nothing. Right.
Okay.
I'm totally, you know, on the pro tip of, hey, you don't need to lock people up for the rest of their life for stealing a pair of socks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not with that. But I have to give CDCR credit in this area, and specifically at Sentinel State Prison where I was at. When the captain, and her name was Ruan Kunzil, when she saw what I was doing, and I also created a sports page that came out every week where I'm highlighting the plays that took place on the baseball field, because we had a softball league too,
Oh wow.
and on the basketball court. When she saw what I was doing, she said, okay, look, technically you have to run that paper by me because you can't really do it without my permission. But since you've been doing it for a year and it's
Right.
working, we're going to keep doing it.
Yes.
Just give me a copy of it so I can read it before you send it out to the yard.
Right.
And then when she saw that it was bringing a unity, let me context this real quick. So in California during that time, you had a racial breakdown of blacks and Asians, or blacks and what are classified as others, really ran together. And then you had the whites and Hispanics, they programmed together. Day rooms are split that way, you know. So when we're running this basketball league, even though I opened it up for all the races, only the blacks and the others participated in the basketball league and the softball league, right? And so because we were participating in that program that we did that we built ourselves, we weren't going on lockdown like the whites and Hispanics were. They were going on lockdown every 2 months, whatever little prison politics they had going on, right? They was doing that and it kept them on lockdown. Us over here, we're programming, and we didn't go on lockdown for almost 3 years based on being involved in sports and having that influence to keep people on focus their energy into a positive nature. And so when the captain came to me and said, hey, I want to write you a chrono, the thug in me came out first. What you mean you want to write me a chrono? What's that? You know, I didn't do nothing wrong. Why you on me like that? She said, no, 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 no. This is a good guy chrono. Well, what you want to write me a good guy chrono for? I'm not a good guy. What is all of this? What are you doing? And somebody else came to me and said, look, man, she's trying to do you a favor. This thing is going to go in your file. And one day when you go to the board, this is going to come up. So I'm like, oh, all right, okay, that's cool. All right, I'll be a good guy for this one. And then 2 weeks later, the warden comes through and gives me a certificate of appreciation and officially called me the commissioner of sports on that yard, right? And if it hadn't been for the captain's chronicle, I really would have rejected the award. What are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, I have to give Centinela and CDCR credit, because when you're creating programs for yourself that deal with reducing violence and making their job a lot easier, they will show you some support, right? But if you got some nonsense going on and you just trying to mask it, I mean, nobody's dumb, nobody's stupid. Everybody has a BS meter, you know, and there's some groups that have been put together that have been, you know, found out to be full of it, and they smash on those. And the sad part about it is the people that actually put those groups together, knowing that they wasn't trying to do the right thing to begin with, when it gets smashed on, they point the finger at the system, you know, and that's kind of unfair. We got to be 100 no matter what, whether it's for or against us. And in this case, they was helping me out along the way so I can be successful in what we were doing. What's up, Sonny? I see you nodding your head, man. You knowing what's going on with this. Almost seem like
I'm just listening, because I mean I didn't get to. I started off from a level 2 and went to a level 4. But
you started low and went up.
Yeah, I was a mess up. You know,
How
I had the bad
115s
influence
did
in the
you
beginning.
get?
I put it like this: I started with 19 points. When I left, I had like 80 something points.
You was a bad man.
Yeah, it was ugly. So,
yeah.
but I was just listening, because in reality, you're right. Like when you in there and you on the gang banging. When I was in there, I was in on the gang banging thing. So when you on the gang banging thing, I started off on the level 2, where I seen it was programmed. It was all kinds of stuff you could do. You ain't got to worry about getting stuck. None of that shit, you know. And then when I boosted my points and then went to Calipat, it was like, here go a knife. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker threw a stapler in my cell and was like, break that down. I was like, the fuck I'm gonna do with this? You know, I mean, excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Yeah,
I was
it
at
was
Calipat.
ugly.
I was at Calipat when I came out of the hole in High Desert after 9/11. They kept me in there through all the way to May 2002. And when they transferred me down to Calipat. So I was at Calipat from 2002 until 2005. Now, the Muslim
But you was
community.
up there when I was there,
Well,
because I was up there. I was on the A yard.
That's where I was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What building was you in? I was in building 2.
Yeah, you was over there with Rick from Bounty Hunters and all of them. And
Yeah,
tall, skinny, dark skinned Aziz, right? Boy, you schoolyard. I'm looking at you. It's gonna come to me in a minute, because I don't forget a face. I used to rob people, so you got to remember faces all the time.
I definitely wasn't the one getting robbed.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying my memory of facial recognition, because during that time at Calipat, when we were there together, that was the transformational part for me, because I was there with Shakir over there in one building, Khalil over in 3 building, and the other his Jamaican celly named Sadiq. That community there really had me focus on my spiritual progression, because it was there I got exposed to Arabic, and from there. Mm-hmm. So let me phrase it this way for the audience.
Hey, this is crazy.
Let me phrase it this way for the audience. When you start learning original languages, when you start learning Semitic languages, because the way we're taught in this country from the left hemisphere. Everything is segregated, right? Everything that we knew before we came here, which would have been on the right, was switched over to the left. So when you start learning Semitic languages, which are written from right to left, you're forcing yourself to go into your right hemisphere and bring it back to the left. And this is where a lot of our knowledge, our hidden knowledge, has been set, but we didn't have access to it based on how we were raised in this society. And this is what sparked last week when the brother was talking, and he was talking about those principles that dealt with banking and dealing with the stock market. I immediately heard it from a cultural perspective about making a switch from not from left to right, but go from right to left. And so, and I know this is a little bit esoteric, and I'm trying to keep it simple. But when I started learning Arabic and moving from my right to my left hemisphere instead of left to right, it opened up a way for me to see the world in a way that a lot of walls fell down. You know, a lot of the ways that I viewed myself and then I started viewing other people were basically shattered, because now I'm using both hemispheres of my brain, not just one side. If you ever watched a bird with a broken wing and that one wing is flapping, that bird can only go in a circle, meaning you're going nowhere fast. You're just going to keep repeating the same thing you're doing. But when you're working with both wings, you can fly anywhere you need to go. And that's what happened when I got out of prison. I was already using both hemispheres of my brain, but when I got released and I was physically out, now I can let my brain go to work. This is how we get the elevated entertainment. This is how we get to the videos that are going to be shown in a minute, because now I'm not confined mentally, I'm not confined spiritually, and now I'm not confined physically. Religion helped me do that, right? Even though I'm not so much relying on it now, I'm just relying on the principles of religion to keep me pushing forward in the right way.
Me personally, I love it because
how did you get but you didn't answer the question though, brother. How'd you go from 19 to 80 points?
Oh man, so damn, I don't even know where to start. You know, I'm from West Coast, being a West Side hustle, so everybody, when we first came in there, the homies used to be like, yeah, everybody from LA, they don't like us because they think that we ain't really LA like that. So you know what I'm saying? So in my mind, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s, I'm like, all right, well, I go in there, it's strictly fighting, strictly everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like niggas is faking all kinds of stupid stuff. And so it was constantly that. I was getting caught with this is when they started doing the drug test on the yard with the weed. And if you get hit with the weed thing, you get 91 days instead of the 90 days you can get back. It was just all kinds of stuff like that. I didn't have no hustle at the time, so I started making prunos, started selling that. People started telling on me. You know, it was that thing. Then I went to level 3. When I went to the 3 yard, it ended up where I caught a sticking on the yard. Then from there, they searched my cell and I had some more pruno. They gave me 120 some days, and then, you know, it just started boosting. My whole term was really I was supposed to do a total of I think 7 years and 4 months. I ended up doing 11 years and 4 months.
And see that now that's the side of CDCR that's
the team part. Because the you know how when you fight in your case is different. So this is why all of that stuff is supposed to be included. But I really didn't want to harp on the jail part. But the thing is, I do see when you was talking about the program. And
that's where I was going to go to right now.
Yeah, because when you look at it, like, my starting point, I'm glad that you brought that up about Calipat too, because my starting point for my education was at Calipat, because we was on lockdown for so long, like 6 months at a time, you know, different things going on. As soon as we get on yard, somebody getting stabbed, you know. So it was always something to where I stayed in the cells or I was in the library. And like I always tell Sister Mo, my thing at 19, I was on the page of, I never wanted my son to ask me a question I couldn't answer. So I just always stayed in the books. And then like how you was talking about with the Muslim thing, it used to be, I don't know if you remember, it was 2 or 3 dudes, they were Jehovah's Witnesses, used to pass out the little pamphlets right there in front of the gate where everybody, where the paddy wagon used to come through. Right. So I used to go over there and I used to debate them on the Bible just on my own thing. And I just, like, that was my humble beginning. And then from there, I started going to the Muslim congregation. I started like going to every different thing, because in my mind, I was like, I know I'm not the first person to ever see this stuff. So that's how my beginning started. But I don't know if you want to go on the Dagger Squad with that statement though. But
no, I was getting ready to go back into the self-help groups, because even though they didn't have them at Calipat, they had AANA, and you know, a lot of guys would go to that just for the donuts and the coffee, right? But
Yeah.
when we were on the level 3 where I started that basketball league at, and then transferring over into San Quentin, where we go from 4 or 5 self-help groups to where you get to San Quentin, there's over 100, right? It really boils down to a person wanting to heal themselves and what it takes to do that. Again, I'll give CDCR credit, specifically at San Quentin State Prison. They have self-help groups, and I'm a living testament to it, that help you walk down the path backwards to each traumatic event that takes place in your life. There's a statement that people use now, it's called hurt people, right? But a lot of people don't say the second part of that, which is heal people.
Right.
Right. And the original traumas that we have in our lives growing up. And again, this goes back to the same principle of finances, because this plays out of what the brother was talking about last week when he sparked me, right? Because financially people get hurt in the same fashion. But let me stay on point though. The self-help groups walk you backward down the path to these traumatic events that take place in your life, right? And then you sit in that traumatic event as an adult, but remembering how it felt as a child or a teenager or as a young adult or even as a grown person. And you deal with that. You sit there and you deal with the fear. The first time I was robbed, I was 14 years old. I was going to Crenshaw High School. And I'm at the liquor store literally right down the street from my house. Now, my mother and stepfather was at work. My mother worked at Yellow Cab. Then my stepfather worked out at the liquor store out by the beach. And the first time I did school, 2 dudes pull a gun on me, pull me behind the liquor store, take my little gold, take my money from me. And I remember every feeling that I felt. Not then, but I had to go back and remember those feelings because I became the robber. And I created victims along the way. And I remember at 14 thinking, I'm never going to be on the other side of the gun again. Nobody's ever going to be like this at me ever again. From this point forward, I'm going to be the one with the gun. And I'm going to be the one taken from people, because that was the moment that I discovered that the gun was power. This is the ultimate equating force. I got it. You do what I say. When I move, you move, just like that. Right. And so in a group called Guiding Rage in the Power, one of the facilitators walked me back to that moment. And he said, what made you think it was okay for you to rob people going forward? Right. And I had to sit there and deal with that. And the moment I dealt with it was the moment I began to discover what the definition of empathy is. Because what I did going forward was I took my 14-year-old self, who was the victim of a robbery, and put that 14-year-old person in every person I ever robbed. And I looked back at me robbing myself, feeling those feelings. So that's what we need to really start to understand. And what drives me today into elevated entertainment and the path I've been on for the past 47 days and hopefully for the rest of my life is being able to put myself in somebody else's shoes and understanding how they feel. And then making adjustments in myself, not to offend your feelings, because sometimes your feelings may be offended by what I'm doing, but to at least have you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not about me being better than anybody or me being here to brag about the things that I've done in just under 2 months. That can be seen that way, but it can also be seen as, man, this dude came out of prison with a plan. Right. He got rocket fuel in his ass, and this dude is moving quick, and he's got people helping him out, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because each individual that's out of prison right now that's watching this, or who's in prison right now on their cell phone in the back of the cell, sitting on the toilet behind the curtain, watching this right now, you have an opportunity to do better by simply starting to make plans.
Yes.
There's everybody, well, I'm assuming a lot of people heard of the 6 Ps, right? Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Yes.
Right? When you properly prepare for release, that's not 2 weeks before you go home. That's minimum 6 months before you go home. Anybody you tapped into inside a prison, on whatever level, that can help you be successful when you get out. Your goal is to make sure that you cultivate those relationships, even if you're doing it for your own success. There's nothing wrong with using people, because you're going to need to use people to make sure that you don't come back to prison. But there is something wrong with misusing and abusing people. So you can't be a misuser and abuser. And this goes out to my Christian brothers and sisters who help me understand it, because they'll tell you quick, fast, in a hurry, Jesus used me, right? Use me to spread the word. Use me to spread the goodness, right? Simple. I hear you laughing. But it's a simple concept. Use me, but don't abuse and misuse me.
Yes. And you know what? I want to go before you go forward, because you dropping all type of jewels, and I'm trying I'm trying to keep up with your dialogue, but I'm like, oh wow, he's unpacked a lot. But I want to go here. One of the last statements you just made mention of, because this is not relevant, in my opinion. This is not relevant to just those who've been in the institution. What you just said in reference to preparation in order to transition should be a goal for anyone, whether you're a teenager transitioning out of high school, you're undergraduate coming out of undergrad, master's, military, out of a relationship into a relationship, right? All the whole 9 yards, because the one thing that people tend to do is say, well, the opportunity is there, it presents itself, I'm not ready. So it's like, hey, what were you doing the whole time? You don't have to be exposed to what your present, so to speak, is gonna be in order to be able to deal with the present or be able to appreciate the present. But if you take in those skill sets, or you start to do some things that will allow you to walk into the path that you say you want to go in, then your preparation will make room for the gift that you want to operate in, so that someone could invest in you, or you can have you can invest in yourself. And so I think what happens a lot of times, not just in that demographic of those who are re-entry coming out right into society, but for anyone who's transitioning, and it makes a difference. And those who are making impact quickly, right, out the gate, within 30 days, 90, 60 days, seem to as if they've had a gold spoon handed to them when they walked out the gate, versus those who is taking time. And it's not that. It's just that you pre-prepare prior to. So you start walking into an area that could have benefited you when you came out. I want to go back to the coach, right? No, the general manager.
Yeah, the GM, Bob Meyer.
GM, right? Because sometimes it takes, was in position to take your skill, your craft into a whole nother level with something probably outside of what you even thought that you could even go to. And sometimes we don't display our skill sets in the presence of those, because we don't think that they're really watching, or they would actually even spark an interest.
Not me. My name is Showtime. You turn the lights and the cameras on, I'm going Showtime. You got something you want to show them, because you sound like you was leading into something right now.
Yes.
Yeah, go and give them a dose.
Talk that talk.
Yes, and so being able to create it. I remember being deployed, and with the combat, it was a majority was combat soldiers, like 19 guys and like 10 girls, right? And these guys, we was in an isolated area, and with nothing to do on this fob, and so they used to do on weekends, they would do what we call boxing smokers. So that gave them an opportunity to vent, to rent, to do whatever. And then we started doing the basketball tour and things of that nature. So that's what sparked my interest. I'm like, okay, he created a way. Now let me find out, did someone try to put a stamp in it, right? Just try to stop it where it was, because good things were happening to these men that were in the environment. And so I want to give kudos to the leadership who pat you on the back and say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. And not only that, I want to put something in your records so they can know that you were doing good things in here so that we can go ahead and release you later on. That's
Now,
go ahead.
at San Quentin, though, your point comes to fruition, though, because it wasn't staff that was trying to stop me at San Quentin from getting audio equipment and all this other stuff. It was other cats in blue doing it, you know? Yeah, exactly. That mentality to where, and I used to tell them, look, if I shine, you shine. Because I'm representing you, because the game is just a basketball game. It's cool. It's no problem. Everybody enjoys watching athletes run up and down the court, you know, superior built, you know what I'm saying, in the same fashion like you as a vet when you was at your highest. Man, we love seeing people go out and defend the country or defend the principles and the creed that we stand for as American citizens. But why would you go and try to stop me from getting audio equipment because you're worried about it's going to diminish your life? And that's what ended up happening at San Quentin. Even when I was a part of San Quentin News, even when I was a part of the basketball program. And what I did was this. I don't have time to stand around and argue with you about this stuff. I'm going to get it done because my name is Showtime. And when I turn on the mic, it's showtime. You know, you guys look real good running up and down the court, shooting jumpers and doing good defensive moves and slam dunking and throwing alley-oops, but you're not doing nothing until I describe what you're doing.
Yeah, you made that picture, made it look real.
Right. For the 400 or 500 people that's standing around for this yearly event that took place, and sometimes it went up to 600 or 700 when they brought the nurses up out the building. Right? I love them days. Right. And brought them sisters up out of there. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm really finna turn the mic up now. But I'm describing what's taking place and you watching it too, right? And my hashtag is Rebirth a Chick. So I patterned my play-by-play after Chick Hearn, who was the voice of the Los Angeles Lakers for decades, you know, and his style is something that I emulated in the beginning, and then I developed my own style out of that, you know. So I'm, as an old school B-boy, I wasn't biting Chick, you know what I'm saying? I didn't bite his style, but I did take elements of it to create my own style as an honor to his style. And that's what pushed me forward. And I didn't let people hating on me stop me doing what I needed to do.
So let's play a clip.
Okay, go ahead.
Should I play the first one?
I think it's the second one.
Second one, right? Yeah, go ahead, Sonny.
Hey, before he go, look, we on the when I shared it, right, on all the photos, it has you doing this.
Yeah, that clip right there.
It has me doing what, Sonny?
The lip.
Sonny.
It has your lips going the sideways, like.
Oh, I'm gonna add a thumbnail in a minute. I know it got me looking crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's all good. All right, y'all.
I just started the wrong way.
We getting ready to watch Showtime do his thing, and this is called is a play-by-play announcer, voice of sports. Let's get it in. Here we go.
Welcome to the 2018 season. 5 years into the new age of Aquarius. This season, you got Harry Smith, also known as ATL. On the basketball court, you call him the Phenom. Alan McIntyre, also known as Black, but I call him PTSD, Programmed to Score Baskets. Anthony Adams, aka Ham, also known as Half Man, Half Amazing. Jack that thing up, beat the ball over the half man, half amazing. He's looking at Kyle like he's fresh meat. And Laces, they get that out of here. Dan overfeed the back away. Dan fires that up in the face. That was in the face. A deep three-point exfoliation by Dan of the Green Team. Feed the ball down low, the defense on, and he blows the layup. $1 million pass and a $2 shot. He puts the mixer down the lane with the left hand on the glass. That didn't call a foul, got his own rebound. Right hand hook counted. Brute strength, man-sized strength under the rim right there. Isaiah, what is this offense look stacked? Nobody's moving, nobody's cutting, everybody's standing around. Oh, a turnover right here. Herb going the other way. If they make this, I'll put it in the refrigerator. You're gonna see something out here that's so unique because it's like, really, they went inside a prison to play basketball? Did anybody get stabbed? Did anybody get something done to them? No, none of that's happening here, San Quentin. The moment they step on the court, all that other stuff goes out the window. Basketball. There's the switch. Dallas with it. Kev with the ball. Kev runs into the phenom with it. Here's the fast break opportunity. The phenom. Oh my God! The Sprite commercial. Ball back down low off the glass. The phenom with the rebound in the bucket. Still the funky basketball player for a deep three in the face. So what's up with the Warriors, man? They 6-4. They're 6-4. They're playing a lot better. Drops a dime off. Oh, and he went in and bashed on him. Ball goes into Brett. Brett picked up by ATL. He backs out on him, and he traveled right there, and they didn't call him. Good tip by going all the way to the rim. It's about time they picked up the defense right here. Ball comes in, swaggy smooth with it down the lane, all the way to the rim, put it up and in. Went through there like butter. Hot knife through butter on that play. 60-59 over crazy. This is the way you're supposed to start the season off.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
And see, I was doing that again 5 days a week, 3 games a day, without the audio equipment on the level 3, right? And so when I did that, and this goes into the organizational aspect of what I was doing, I had to hire a statistician, one statistician for this team, one for the other team, right? Then I hired a scorekeeper who was flipping the numbers over here. Then I got 4 referees that work in rotation, 3 at a time, and I'm paying them from the 20% out of the bag that the 80% was going to the champion.
Wow.
And I'm keeping 5% as the league commissioner in the play-by-play, right? We would charge $1 for techs. You know, if you want to start gangbanging on the court or something like that, we're going to charge you a tech, and that's going to be $1 before you can step back on the court, right? But what it did was I took the elements of Islam as far as the structure and how to run a community that they teach you in the religion, and transferred that, extrapolated that into the league, right? And then I took that level when we got to San Quentin, and I hired statisticians that sat down at the front table. I'd have anywhere from 7 to 9 statisticians, and each one is keeping a specific stat. And then I would ask for the poster to get slid up to me, right? So during a timeout or a break or something like that, or in between quarters, now I'm reading off stats, you know. And to do that, it goes back to using people. I tell people, listen, man, this is what I want you to do. I want you to keep the stats on assists and steals. But what am I going to get out of it? I'm going to get you a picture with Draymond Green. I'm going to get you a picture with Kevin Durant. I'm going to get you a picture with Steve Kerr, with Festus Azila, with Ronnie Lott, with Jim Harbaugh, right? With I forget the Raiders quarterback that came through there. And Michael Vick brought a flag football team through there too as well, when I was the defensive coordinator for the all-man flag football team there. So I'm going to get you something that you can send home to your people and show them that you're doing something positive. When I was the sports editor for San Quentin News, as soon as they made me the editor, I went out on the yard and I put together a team of 16 writers. I did something that was out of my comfort zone. I even went to the LGBTQ community and asked them, hey, is anybody here interested in sports on the yard? And, you know, a few hands went up. How many of y'all are interested in writing for the San Quentin News and having your stories go online so your people can Google your name with San Quentin News and that story pops up so you can show them that you're taking part in something bigger than yourselves? And 2 hands were left up. Okay, come on, y'all can come write for the crew. You know, now, I'm not gay.
All facets of journalism.
Right, but see, it was hard for me to do that. It was stepping outside of my comfort zone because, again, I'm not gay. I don't understand why people are gay. I'm not trying to understand. But what I am is somebody that's in the sports. And I know all segments of the population are in the sports. So if I can bring in some people from that segment of the population, not just inside of San Quentin, but outside of San Quentin in the greater Bay Area, where it's really progressive at, can also know that there are people inside that's being represented as part of the San Quentin News sports team. Now, Does that give me kudos? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You think it don't? I did it for that reason. But
you
then I
would
also
even bridge your culture diversity.
Right. But I also found out one of the guys, we used to call him Rogers Nelson because he looked just like Prince, right? A little bit too. We used to call him Rogers Nelson. But one thing about him, this dude was a beast when it came to stats. He was a real live beast. And so I told him, I said, listen, just go over here by the basketball, by the benches where the players are at. Don't say nothing to nobody, right? Guys are going to come look and they're going to see what you're doing. And I give it about 2 weeks before they start talking to you, because I don't care who you are. If you step on that court or you step on that football field or the baseball diamond, you want to know your stats.
That's right.
You want to know what you did, what the stats look like, what your stat line look like. So later on, you can go brag about it. And so even the guys that was involved in the sports program started talking to this little brother, and they wasn't tripping on him being gay over by the basketball court anymore, because now they know they got to go talk to him to deal with their stats. You know, now maybe away from the court in the more social alignments and structures we had, people wouldn't speak to him or nothing like that. But they knew when they saw him by the basketball court what he was doing, and they knew what type of beast he was when it came to them numbers. And so they started talking to him then. And so that's the same way I'm functioning out here now. When I got out, within 72 hours, I had already sent some emails out to some of the contacts that I'd made inside of prison. And within 72 hours, I had a brother by the name of Alan Witt, who used to be an award-winning producer for Sports Center. A brother by the name of Branson Wright, who is Branson Wright Films. Right now, he has the Dwight Anderson story, and he also has the Women of Troy documentary released and up. And he's Branson Wright Films associated to Sony Pictures. There's a lawyer by the name of Daryl Miller, who's associated to Rothschild LLP out here in Hollywood. I had people like that coming at me. I also had Atlas Entertainment, and they made the movie American Hustle and Wonder Woman, and the new one that just came out, Wonder Woman 84. They wanted to turn cue ball from a documentary into a major motion picture. So I had this president of this company and his director of operations coming to me, talking to me from before I left prison. And then you have Jordan Debris and Michael Tolajian from Heist Projects, the company that Kevin Durant sent in to film cue ball, right? And it's somebody else I'm missing. The larger point I'm making is, once these people started contacting me within 72 hours when I was out, I ended up having to get 3 phones. Now, my intention, because I have to keep it 100, I told my boy on the tier before I left, I said, man, I'm finna take my $200 gate money. I know my people got some money for me. I'm finna take my $200. I'm finna go find me a woman. It's been 26 years. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of pent up stuff that's finna good cracking off right now, you know, and I got to go get this, right? However, I plan, the universal forces plan, and the universal forces are the best of planners. And what ended up happening, West Block went on a COVID, the second wave of COVID hit West Block before I left. So when I left, I had to go isolate for 2 weeks in a motel room, and I couldn't have any visitors, and I could only be out like 15 or 20 minutes at a time. So the aspect of going out to have sex after 26 years, I still haven't done. I still haven't stopped to do that yet. And because I haven't, I was more focused on what it was I was trying to do, which was reconnect with these people, meet these new people that's coming in, right? And then set up how I'm going to plan this push out. And I had my little notebook where I had this plan A through G, and I'm thinking plan A is going to be the one. Well, no, I had to move plan G up to plan A, because plan G was get in the Venice Basketball League, get you an agent, get you an attorney, start doing pop-up play-by-play in the city to get your street cred, because these people don't really know you. No, that's not what happened. No, I had to move plan G to plan A, because within 72 hours, everybody was on me. Literally, I had bought a phone. Do you know the phone I bought? I went and bought from Ralph's Market. I was out 6 hours. I went and bought a phone for $34.99 and got a $65 plan on it. And it was a total of 113 plus tax. Do you know they charged me $700-800 for them phones in prison? I was pissed off.
Wow.
No,
I was
no,
pissed off to the highest
no,
sensitivity.
no.
I went to Rouse and bought a phone for
killer.
$35 that they was charging me $700 for.
Hey, supply and demand.
And so I have that phone, and then my mother brought me her iPhone because I'm getting boatloads of calls and texts. I said, Mom, I need your phone. She said, okay, you can use my iPhone, and then your Galaxy S20 will be here Monday or Tuesday. So, and my parole officer, man, bless his heart, Hackett, right? Hackett seen what was going on too, and he was like, man, I don't think we can send you to the transitional home that we was gonna send you to because they're gonna lock you up for 3 weeks. And I'm looking at what you're doing, and I'm watching this stuff that you got on YouTube, but I got to get you in another place. So thankfully, again, this is the system working for you when they see that you're doing something positive. He got me away from one place and put me in the place where I am now, where I get 8 hours a day to come out and handle my business. And up until they did the lockdown, I could get 1 day a week overnight someplace, right? But back to the point, I shouldn't have drifted that far, but I did. Back to the point, I was able to focus on pushing forward the plan instead of going out chasing women. I was able to put my nose to the grindstone every day, and every day something was happening. And 2 days before I came off of quarantine, I got a call from Nick Ansom from the Venice Basketball League. He calls me up. He said, Showtime, what's happening? I said, what's going on, man? He said, you ready to call some basketball games? Hell yeah. What's happening?
Yes.
Right. He's like, hey, look, man, we're going to get started, you know what I'm saying, in about 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? We want you out there. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I'm a little nervous because, you know, this is my first paying job. And the day before, I think I had like 50 something bucks, and I had to go get an HDMI connector cable. So from my phone to my little TV that I had that my mother gave me. And I said, Mama, I only got about 24 bucks left. And she said, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know. And the phone rang. And this Nick calling me back. He said, yeah, we're gonna be out here at Dotweiler Beach, and we're gonna be filming you, and we want to make you part of this season's transition, right? Through the COVID, plus you coming out in COVID with this cue ball behind you, you know, and we're gonna embrace you and bring you in. And I mean, you got a clip there, and I'm like,
You mean
elated.
play that one?
Word. That's one word I can use, elated, because it's a dream come true for me to come out of prison and been calling play-by-play up in there for my dudes all this time, man. And to get out, to get out and get a job like that within the first 30 days, to do something that I love, it's not even work, you know, and then to get paid for it.
Which clip is that? Which clip?
That might have been lined up as clip 3.
Number 3? Okay, hold on. Let's check it out.
Not that one.
Not that one?
That one. Yeah.
That one? Okay.
About the first 2.5 minutes of it.
Oh, wait.
If you play the whole thing, that's cool too.
The law of COVID-19, the corona, we are not allowed to play basketball, man. All the basketball courts in the city are locked down. If you dig a little deep enough in the back of a state beach parking lot, you'll find a little place that's dear to my heart. We've been running events here 2012, I want to say. And we're keeping the game alive, man, by any means necessary. The Hooper's Paradise, a state of mind. It is not a place. Set up a little tournament. BBL's back 2020. It's a long time coming. It's almost Thanksgiving, mid-November. Started another year of BBL, man, 2020.
1989 through 1984, I was really on a devastating crime spree where I accumulated 20 counts by the time I got arrested. And they involved 2 attempted murders, 2 kidnaps, 12 counts of armed robbery, ex-felon with a gun, 1 attempted robbery, and 1 assault with a firearm.
The perfect trading system doesn't exist. Well, how do I know?
These people getting their money.
Let me let that go through.
Skip that ad.
You gotta skip it. It's monetized.
Well, listen, I'm trying to make somebody some money.
One in Qatar, 16.5-hour flight. Feel like good to just get back and being able to like compete, you know. It's just more about, I think when I get there, it's gonna be more about like the adrenaline. That's gonna like probably take over. I'm already pretty much packed.
For me, doing play-by-play for basketball inside kind of took away from the reality that we were living in. And today is the opportunity to show what rehabilitation can look like if you give somebody an opportunity to show you that they went through the process and came out a better person.
BBL means like coaching. But you got people from all different types of backgrounds. We have BBL World Games. People come from China, Japan, Germany. They all come over there to play. They all compete again. It's just like people from every like nation kind of like knows about BBL.
This is getting ready to get some shit you ain't never heard before today.
It's good to be back. We're not been in team, but it's not Florida though. It's beautiful still.
The first weekend of 4 tournaments, double elimination, 8 teams, 8-minute halves, or first to 16, 1s and 2s, 1 ISO card per half, 4 fouls per player.
We out here, man. We've been missing it during this quarantine stuff, 2020, so it just feels great. Out here seeing the water, like I was saying.
It's amazing, man. You know, to be out here with people just playing basketball, it's just so fun. I'm so excited, bro. Like, I've been waiting for this summer to come like this. So, like, it's not finished, but at least we back. You know? And I love the vibe. I love everybody coming out and getting together, you know.
Yeah, I've been playing this whole year, but I always like to get back on the court.
Everybody hates Chris. Oh! The young man, number 4, white feet, ball up court, flight time. Oh! Oh my God. Everybody hates Chris all the way to the rim with the left hand layup off the glass. Face up, going down the lane. Oh, he pushed off with that elbow and they didn't call it. This is that blacktop game where you can get away with elbows like that in the paint.
Coming from Africa, you know, you never know when it's going to be your next.
You gotta tell them, Don, you don't know.
This is 2020 taught us how to take every single day, you know what I'm saying, cherish it, being a moment of the time because you never know what's going to happen next, you know. So being out here playing with the guys, man, it's just beautiful. All the races are out here.
Okay. See your sister?
Yeah.
We're pulling up close to crowning the champion this week.
Big shout out to their Utah court in the city.
My niece was also my manager was here. My cousin showed up. Some guys who I played basketball with at San Quentin showed up as well. So I'm fighting back tears right now. Really, seriously. Every time I get to thinking about it,
We ain't getting lights for the hazard traffic.
this is great. This is great.
We be fake police.
Yeah, you can stop it right there.
Yes.
It's a little bit longer, but
This
that
is
pretty much
fire.
sums it up.
This is fire.
I'm not buying it. You're telling me you bagged.
You could if you want to stop it right there, you could, because it's like another 4 minutes I think to go.
So they have a lot of different rules there, flying from different territories of the world. So you gotta have like paperwork. But
We back. We really back in the fence.
Those are cute.
We looking nice out here.
Same idea. Oh, same idea. Fire.
In 4 weeks. It'll be a Final Four battle. Winner gets $5,000 and a beautiful trophy that we customly made. For the win, it's easy. Giddy. You know what I'm saying? Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Lock in.
Right here, BBL style. And I'm out. Hey, Brian, put your lights on.
Juice with the ball. Zach Sony, they're going to put a taller man on him to make sure he doesn't try to shoot that. There's the pick. Juice finds number 2. Oh! Game time! The Juice steps into it as the light is going out. All right, man. Should be watching, bro. It's been a tough tournament tonight, right? Talk to us about that last shot. That shit was easy. Let him talk. Let him talk. I didn't know that shit. It was a good shot. I don't know. But the man that came out on top, MVP, was shooting the lights out in the dark. My man, I got the I might want to establish myself here in LA, and I might not want to go back to New York State. Maybe I'll wait for Steve Ballmer to call me and tell me to come play for the, do it for the Clippers, or make for the slide about getting involved in something that somebody else built, but helping somebody else build up what's already, established and ready to do it. Right, and this is street level ball. This is blacktop ball, and my play-by-play is really kind of designed for this. Okay. So these are thoughts that are going through my head. This is what I'm thinking about. You got Showtime. Yeah, mental fecundity is what I call it. As long as I stay mentally flexible and tapped into the millennial, then I can probably push this about 20, maybe 25 years. Hey, I'm doing a job at Santa Monica College. Listen, if I do it right here in the VBL, what am I? I'm not losing nothing. I'm actually gaining a lot.
Man, that was super exciting. Yeah.
The one of the rules that they have that I really like was when they told me that the sisters had to play 5 of the 16 points because it's the first to 16 or 2 15-minute halves. And the girls got to be out there, and they got some women out there with game. The young lady that spoke, her name is Stefania, right? Yeah. And she got a J, but the sister that you seen shoot the ball, I nicknamed her name is Jada. I called her Jada Swift, right? Because she just got hired, she just got signed 17 years old. She's going to play for Cal State Berkeley.
Wow.
For the Golden Bears, right? And so when I'm talking to her before the game, I'm like, listen, and I told all the women this, I said, listen, I don't need you running up on me after the game is over with if you suck on the basketball court talking about this brother's on some BS. No, if you got game, I'm going to talk about it. If you don't got game, I'm going to talk about it. They was like, we got you, Showtime, don't trip. And they stepped up and show out, so they play defense against each other unless they get caught in a switch, and there's one little sister they call the Black Italian, right? And she can defend just as well as any dude out there, especially out on the perimeter, so there's stars in the VBL. It's an all amateur league. And one of the things that I'm known for is nicknames. I'm gonna give you a nickname. All of those nicknames at the beginning of the other clip was Half Man, Half Amazing. That came from Nas. But PTSB, Program to Score Baskets, and Swaggy Smooth for Tevin Fortnett, and the Phenom for ATL. And there's one name I gave a guy. His name is Horace Pep Williams. When I met this dude, he was 53 years old already. And I had heard rumors about him starting fights at other prison yards because people wanted to pick him first and would literally fight about having him on the team. When I seen this brother play, he looked like one of them throwback players from the ABAs in the 70s, right? So I said, you know what I'm gonna call you? He said, what? I'm gonna call you the Human Theme Song. He said, what? I said, yeah. Every time you go to make a bucket, I'm gonna go do, right? So now flash forward to where he's playing in the game against the Golden State Warriors in the All-Star game, right? And he gets on the court, and I said the Human Theme Song with the ball comes across the timeline, back to the basket, head and shoulder fake with the left going baseline, do, bucket, right? And the crowd is screaming. They like, oh, wow. And it just solidified it for him. He became the Human Theme Song from that point forward. And so in the VBL, I get to do the same thing,
Yes.
That day, I'm going to put this up because they're never getting this jersey back. They're never getting this jersey back. This number 9 jersey, this is going up, and it's going to get put in some glass. because this was the first job that I actually got when I got out, you know, and this is what I did for doing something that I love, you know. And again, it takes proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And it goes back to what you said, it applies to everything. You know, there's that kid who's in high school right now, who's sitting at the end of the bench, player number 16. He got a mind for the game, but his skills ain't up to par. So right now he should be thinking about, maybe I should go into coaching, right? And get his X and O's all the way down packed. Because the guy that they showed in the first clip that we did, Rafael, the Mexican, or actually he's Nicaraguan, head coach of the San Quentin Warriors, that dude wasn't the best basketball player. But when we got ready to pick the new head coach for the San Quentin Warriors, I was up for the job and so was he. When he came by my cell and showed me his playbook with the X's and O's, I said, oh no. I might be a good motivational speaker, but this dude is a real coach. And so I asked him if I could become his assistant so I can learn from him while he's being the head coach. And I would be the guy who dealt with people who would, you know, get over emotional and stuff like that. I could talk to you and connect there. When it came to X's and O's, that was Rafael Cuevas, right? And so I learned a lot from him on the X's and O's tip on offense and defense, right? And using that same concept out here in society with X's and O's and learning how to run plays. Listen, I can run a pick and roll on you easily. I'll send somebody up to set a pick on somebody that's in my way and go right around you. We can do a give and go all day long. I could give it to Sonny, let him do what he do, and he pass it back, and I take it to the rack.
Right.
How did we get here today? Angie called me on the phone. I'm laying right here at Sister Delva, my mama. I'm laying on her couch. She was in Vegas visiting my uncle, right, during the Thanksgiving weekend. And she called me. I'm dozing. I'm like, what you want? She said, you got to get on here. This brother's on here talking about banking and stuff like that. And he had mentioned my boy Curtis Carroll, AKA Wall Street, the Oracle of San Quentin. Now, Wall Street played on my football team and my basketball team. And then we switched reels and he taught me about the stock market and how to understand investments and how to read these things the same way I read plays when it comes to basketball, baseball, and football. He gave it to me in a language that I can understand. And that's a sign of wisdom for me. When you can take something that's difficult and break it down so that somebody who has no understanding of it and give them a complete picture and they walk away with, I have a better understanding of that. That's wisdom applied to me. And that's what my boy Wall Street did as well. And that's what I heard last week when the brother was on, why I was so juiced up when Angie called me and woke me up, right? And I'm like, oh, you mean to tell me this was going on and I missed it? The hell? Hold up. Let me get up in here and be Johnny Appleseed real quick. Let's see what can grow out of this. So what grows out of this is elevated entertainment. Because I needed a vehicle to push the brand Aaron Showtime Taylor with the help of these other companies and these other people that I'm involved with, right? And then I needed something that addresses the financial aspect that fits right into this particular platform that we on, because I'm looking at erasing intergenerational wealth by pushing my nieces and my nephews who I made CEO, COO, music coordinator, and music producer of Elevated Entertainment. Now I'm 55. I just turned 55 November the 5th. And like I said in the video, I may have a 20, maybe 25-year career in sports broadcasting if I get picked up and taken up to the higher level. But Elevated Entertainment can still be used by my nieces and nephews after I'm gone to continue to accumulate wealth and move on the platform that we're moving on, which is bring people in to help us help each other, right? And then they pass that wealth on down to their kids. Now, by the time, 2 generations later, maybe the name may have changed. Maybe it may not be Elevated Entertainment no more.
Right.
Maybe it may be something else. But the aspect of being able to invest in self, right?
Yes.
And then passing that on to the generation following you, and then following that generation, and then following that generation. That's something that we really need, because it seems like every time we go to take 2 steps ahead,
say it again,
They want to drag us 3 steps back, right?
Or start.
And I'll go straight to Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. The first time that this country ever used bombs that was dropped on something from air was against Black folks, their own quote unquote citizens in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Why did they do this? What was the reason that they did this for? Well, some say that it was, you know, the usual thing. Oh, it was a nigga whistling at a white woman and they just went and set it off. No. Jealousy and envy that we were able to create our own sources of income, keep our dollar in our community longer than 30 days. It rotated with us even before it went to the bank where they was dealing on the federal side of it. And people got jealous. Them niggas is over there balling and we ain't, right? Go over there and say that that nigga whistled at you to give us an excuse to go up in there and kill them. And then they turn around and drop bombs on us. And they don't understand why some of us are still in the position that we're in today. That's intergenerational trauma that you keep putting on us. And a lot of us can't get past that. So America actually needs a self-help group. They need to go take some of them groups that I took inside of prison. America in and of itself, even the political situation we find ourselves in today can be directly tied to intergenerational wealth being passed down from Donald Trump's grandfather to his father, to him, to his kids. You can say what you want about Donald Trump, but one thing he said was true. The system is rigged and I know how to work the system, so don't get mad at me for working the system the way I do. We need to learn how to work the financial system the way Donald Trump did before they changed the rules, or learn the rules or the new rules before they come out so we can put ourselves in a position so we can move forward. That's why I respect Ice Cube so much. Now, I may not agree with his delivery, but the plan that he had, if you read it, addressed a lot of the things that we're on now, where we pivoted to into intergenerational wealth and passing wealth along. And even what Nipsey Hussle was doing here on the street level in LA, right? Accumulating businesses, hiring people, putting people to work, keeping our dollars in our community. There are numbers I can just throw out that everybody knows already. You know, a dollar stays in the Black community 6 hours, but a Jewish dollar stays in the Jewish community for 30 days. With Hispanics, it stay in their community for 3 days. With whites, it stay in their community for 3 weeks. We're the only ones, our money is like water. You know what I'm saying? As soon as it touch our hands, it pour right through and go right to somebody else. Maybe we need to be educated the way Wall Street was educating people, because he had a financial literacy class inside of San Quentin, and he started teaching us about how to invest and what to invest in. One of the things I was interested in, I said, well, if I invest in anything, I'm gonna invest in soap. And he said, why is that? I said, because everybody got to wash their ass. Everybody got to wash their mouth.
Right.
They be slow money, but it's for show money.
Well, I mean, you definitely on the right track. I love that Sister Angie hooked you up with us, because there's just like you, I'm learning a lot too. I actually been dealing with this channel for about 3 or 4 years. So when Sister Monica used to say, get you a team, and what was it, 217?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yep. I used to be on that page. I just had my own thing going at the time, so I just wasn't really tripping. But when I started leaning towards the economic part, started understanding things, again, like Sister Monica said, it's a lot of things to unpack that you had said, because for me, getting back to where you were saying that even though you didn't know what people were talking about, you still had an open ear so you can understand. And this was before we did the videos, you know what I'm saying, going, for me, I have to like remember what you said and go start from backwards to go forward. But in reality, that's the things we have to unpack with what you were saying, because it's valid and it actually goes with what we got going.
Definitely, you talking right. You talking right, Sonny, because men, especially when Showtime, you make mention of transferring knowledge and transferring information, transferring company, transferring. Let me turn my little stuff around. Transferring generational wealth, passing on companies so that your kids can have something to build from. Too often we don't build anything. The only thing we know, you on your job, you're working towards your retirement, and then your kid graduates, and then now you send them off to go work for something, as opposed to having something already laid up for them that they can enhance. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. That they can enhance, and so when and the reason I got involved in wanting to do something more for the community, from the Armor Rock Squad, he's like, "What are you doing for the community? What are you doing for the community?" I'm like, "What? I'm chilling. I ain't doing nothing. I didn't work all this time. I'm going home, going to chill, go do my own thing. Communities, you crazy? Like, I gotta go deal with people? I'm not doing that." But after talking over and over for weeks, and he just wouldn't let up. Then I met Garfield, met him all at the same time. It's like, and I was going live. I was talking about scholarships for students in college, because I had an issue with students transitioning out of high school into work, to employment, college, tech schools, things of that nature, and they didn't have what they needed, or they just wasn't ready. And I would go live every day. Sharing, the basics, fundamentals of it all. And Garfield, asking to come do the Urban Economic Empowerment Show. And so, just being able to share information with people in those areas where in those areas of lack. So for instance, I love talking about government contracts and grants and things of that nature, but I also know what keeps us from getting them. So I focus on, okay, if you have a company, this is what you need to be focused on. And we've done that for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Quite some times. And then now it's a matter of, okay, you got you a team, as Sunny said earlier, my friend Cheryl, that was her phrase, she coined. Get your team in 2017. Then I added a train your team in 2018. Network with your team in 2019. Now expect opportunities in 2020. The reason is, it's because if we're going to go from year to year and we're going to build, I've educated you from foundation to intermediate to advanced. Now it's time for you guys to go out and make some things happen. I love the fact, the connection, the network. How important was it character because you already coming out with the stigma, right? The stereotype. And you're stepping into this professional environment where, of course, people are gonna know the background. How speak to the audience, especially those individuals who are transition, how important is character, that when you're given the opportunity based on what they've already seen you can do, and you're very good at it, and then being able to operate in that lane, right? And still have people in your ear about what was. Not focusing on what you're doing right now and how good you are at it, or how great you're gonna be or being, but still having that ear, of, or watching you as if you're gonna walk into some or do something to critically or cripple your opportunity going forward. Talk to those individuals who struggle with maintaining character.
So I'm gonna use this jailhouse terminology because it's easier for me to break it down that way. And I may offend some people in the audience. It's not my intent to offend you, but this is how we speak in prison. You only got two things. You got your nuts and your word. Your nuts ain't no good in prison, but your word is. Don't lose that. That sums up character. If I tell somebody I'm gonna do something, if I can't do it, then I give them a heads up that I can't do it, and I'm giving them a legitimate reason why I can't do it. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, right? That's your character for anybody, man or woman. Keep your word, right? No matter what people are saying, because people are gonna always assume the worst out of you because you're coming out of prison, right? Now, fortunately for me, I don't really have that issue because of the connections with the people that I built up before I left prison. I'm dealing with the general manager of the Golden State Warriors. I'm dealing with the general manager of the Santa Cruz Warriors, the G League team. And then I'm dealing with his brother, who's the assistant general manager of the Golden State Warriors. I'm dealing with Van Jones. I'm dealing with Ronnie Lott. I'm dealing with Dr. Harry Edwards. These are people that I've formed working relationships with at San Quentin, which put me on a sports and social justice forum where Eric Reed was sitting on one side of me and Lewis Murphy's on the other side of me. And I'm sitting there advising them, telling them the path that you two are on, you're going to be the most hated ones. But don't let that stop you, because there's a lot of people who can't say anything, who you're voicing their frustrations. So keep it up, but it's going to be rough. But I can't tell them that and then walk out of here and think it's not going to be rough on me. I don't worry about people that's sitting around talking about me. I don't have time to sit around and listen to somebody chirping, talking about, oh, he an ex-con. Oh, he just got out of prison. Well, who he think he is? He always dropping these names when he talking. This nigga ain't shit. You're going to have that. That's going that way. For my Christian brothers, get behind thee, Satan. I don't worry about that. And you shouldn't worry about it either. You should focus on what it is do I want to do today. If you want to work for somebody, then go be the best worker that you can be. Show up on time. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what type of work you're doing, make sure you're in your uniform or your clothes is clean. I don't care if you only got one pair of pants and one shirt. When you get off work, go wash that, print it up, do whatever you need to do and wear it again the next day with pride, because you're not locked up anymore. The only way you can fail is if you convince yourself that you're a failure.
Yeah, cover it. And
you're not a failure. You actually survived prison. That's something that most people that's talking about you couldn't do.
Ooh, say that again. I don't know if I can do 26.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
I can do 14 hours that I did.
I'm going to get real with you right now. I hope your audience is ready for this. I just did 26 years, 1 month, and 3 weeks in a prison system, and I'm not gay. Do you know what it's like to live over a quarter century and not be able to touch a woman?
No, I don't. I ain't gonna
not you specifically. Not you specifically. But I want the people that's listening that sit around and judge people that have been to jail, right? You're judging people. We know we got that 1 or 2 family members that can't stop. They just can't get right. And ain't that the name of the boy, Can't Get Right?
Yeah.
He's always going back and forth to jail. He just can't get right. But I want you to picture in your mind the mental strength and the mental fortitude it takes to spend over a quarter century in prison and not break down. There's many people I know along the way, after the 20-year mark, they just said, man, I gotta go this way, man. It's too hard for me. You know, I seen soldiers that I did time with. Once they got to San Quentin and they got to looking around at some of them people from the LGBTQ community, they were like, man, it's been a long time. I don't know when I'm getting. Whoop.
This is why I said that it's a lot to unpack, because like when I was in there, they didn't have all of that. Like after the Obama thing, you started having LGBTQ or whatever community, right? But in jails, I've never heard of this actually having a community in jail, right?
It's changed, bro.
It makes a difference. Yeah, it makes a difference on how people respond and people react. Just like out here, it's like I might not deal with that kind of stuff, right? But out here, you can actually go to jail for the things you say, the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? This is why I said it's a lot of stuff that you're saying. It's a lot to unpack, because I still want to get back to the basketball thing and how I do apparel out here with the business. So, you know, when we get back to the economic conversation, you know, I really want to deal with that. But it's a lot of stuff. Yeah. That's why I said like
business investment. But I want to hit this one last note before we get off the subject, because I want to be clear, because I'm an honest and open person and I'm really transparent. You know, I don't have no filters yet, right? LGBTQ rights are human rights, the same human rights that we asking for as Black folks, right? And so for me to be able to bring a couple of those onto my writing staff, and like I said, go out of my comfort zone, was for me to recognize not what they do, but to recognize them as human beings who have a right to make a choice on what they do. You see, and so there's a lot of people like me that have to develop into that. You know, some of us are old soldiers. We was in prison when that just wasn't allowed. You couldn't be around us doing that stuff. And then in a way, going to San Quentin was an enlightening experience because it made me start to be aware of, damn, was we oppressing people? Did we become oppressors ourselves? You know, was we so strict on the level 4 that this dude couldn't actually be who he was because he was in fear for his life? And it made me start to rethink this stuff. So me talking about it, and I understand what you're saying, Sonny. I understand it clearly. But there's still people that's mentally transitioning like myself to understand that we all deserve human rights. And anybody that has the right to live the way that they want to live still is worthy of human rights, right? And that way nobody gets violated if we're all treated the same on that level. Now, I might not like what you do personally, but you have the right to make that choice and do it. And I have the right to go about my business and not try to stop you from doing what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, this is a maturation process for me. I'm still a work in progress.
Right.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Go ahead, Sonny. You was gonna
no,
say
I really wanted to get back to the economic part of the conversation.
Go ahead.
Because
but with elevated entertainment, one of the things that we're talking about is what you just mentioned about having apparel, you know, having some gear.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff to unpack. Like, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, I love that you have that Kenneth Edwards type of thing. You have the motivational type of speaking about you, right? I actually don't have that. And see, this is where it gets into one of Garfield's thing is the 100-man team. And so this is why when I asked you about the circumference earlier, about where you at, because I can get within that location because of where I'm at. And so I have ideas all over the place. When I got before, like how you was talking about the 6 months, unpacking that, like 6 months before you get out of jail, whatever. For me, it was on the page of I never thought I was going to get out because of how things was going, what I was doing. I never thought I was going to get out. But my thing was, if I talk to my son on the phone, I want to educate him the best way I can. And to be honest, I didn't know I was getting out until I had to sign my papers. Like, I literally didn't know none of that. Wow. That's how much I wasn't paying attention. So, you know, it was just so much going on. And to where you didn't know if you was going to live the next day.
Right.
So you know, you already know how it was. It's ugly, you know. So, but just being on that page, I still wanted to educate myself as much as I could. And once I got out, it was just no hold bar. So it's a lot of stuff that you were saying that I wanted to unpack because it helps a man, no matter if you locked up or not, it helps a man to understand how life is once you start wanting to expand yourself and listen and learn. It makes a difference.
You have to educate yourself. Just like there were some guys that I ran into, some youngsters at San Quentin, and they knew that I was pretty educated in the Uniform Commercial Code. And so they started asking me questions about, you know, tax law. And then they went into real estate. And I stopped them. I said, wait a minute. You should go to the library and get you a book on real estate. And you should also get you a book on business administration. They was like, well, you could teach me. I said, no, I could tell you what I know, but it's only from my interpretation. The book may have rules that was interpreted by somebody, but those rules that we're talking about become universal. So you should really get this book and read it and study it, right? So you know what you're doing. And the business administration is, the principles again are the same, just like last week. They're universal principles. Business administration deals with running a business, right? It doesn't matter what the business is. If your business is religion, then you need to know how to structure the people that you bring in who are going to be handling programs, choir gowns, the deacons that are collecting the money, who's going to be attendant, who's going to be the parking attendant, who's going to be doing this, who's going to be the usher to direct people where they sit. All of those things that take place, the little things that a lot of people miss, are a part of business administration, right? And when we're dealing on it on a financial level, I was talking to my cousin, and after the riots in 1992 in Los Angeles, my brother and my cousin both started plumbing companies, CNR Rooter, and my cousin started Drain Man. My cousin is still Drain Man today. And we were having a conversation when I was asking him about tax law in dealing with Elevated Entertainment and LLC, right? And I told him, I said, I'm going to be on a show tomorrow, and the sister Monica has a LLC. So one, I don't want to sound ignorant, right? But two, I don't mind sounding ignorant if I ask the question that produces an answer that I need. See, there's one of the things that a lot of us have to get past is we don't want nobody to know that we don't know, so we won't ask the question because we don't want to look bad like we don't know nothing. Well, that's why you asking questions, so you can educate yourself. And so we were talking about tax law and how to use different elements of the tax law. And then we start talking about fiduciary responsibilities, right? And when we started going into this, that's when the Uniform Commercial Code and tax law kicked back in that I already knew that I could apply to the company that I have now, and that anybody can apply. You have to make yourself aware of the company that you're putting together. If it's an LLC or if it's a nonprofit organization, 50C31, whatever it is you're doing, you need to educate yourself in that specific field, and then educate yourself more broadly on financial law and tax law, so you don't run into the type of headaches that a lot of us get when we open up our first business. And sometimes you find yourself, like I know a couple of people who got loans and stuff like that and start, quote unquote, balling out of control. And then a year later, the feds is standing right there talking about, you owe $100,000 in taxes. And out here in California, the California Franchise Tax Board is at your door talking about you owe state taxes. Well, you was balling so hard, you forgot that you had responsibilities as a business owner or responsibilities as an individual citizen to the state that you had to take care of. If you take care of those, or as my mother likes to say, you take care of your business and your business will take care of you, right? And understanding the economics of this will make sure that you don't fall into those traps. When I met Angie in the Universal School of Thought. It's a group on Facebook, and she was really, really heavy into teaching us about finances. That's how our relationship began. She was setting up, educating the group on fiduciary responsibility, on grant writing, on loans, and how these type of things work, right? And so to go back to the point where you were talking about apparel, and I'm like, man, bring that on in, because if we make you a part of what we're doing, right, then that may lessen the burden of tax responsibility on you, but put it on the company where the company can handle it, right? Where you taking care of your business, so your business take care of you.
So since you've been out, have you started an LLC?
Yeah, that's what Elevated Entertainment is, an LLC.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it doesn't cost much to register an LLC, you know.
It costs out here in California, it costs $84.
It's 75 now.
Oh, it is, because when I did mine, it was $84, and then to get your paperwork with your EIN and all that,
right,
it's $124.
Right.
So it's not much. Huh?
The EIN is free. If you out there paying for the EIN, y'all.
No, out here they give you a separate paperwork. So I'll inbox it to you, because I just had to pay for all of that stuff. That's why I've been.
You paid.
I'm looking at her face.
Listen to me very clearly.
Look, me and my girl has been going through this right now.
No, listen. You may have paid for a service for a company to help do your EIN, but an EIN is free on the IRS website.
Don't do this. Don't do that.
Yes, you don't have to pay the EI. The only thing you pay.
Wait, hold up.
No, I'm gonna show you. I don't have
and I'm in your classes, and I'm
you don't come to class.
Wait, hold up. I'm paying for the
you
classes.
Don't come to class. You gotta come to class in order to be in class. But I appreciate your compensation every month. But you now listen.
I do be coming to class.
For real, you do show up sometimes, but that time you weren't there. Okay, but listen, when it comes down to business, the only documentation that you pay for is your incorporation with your state, your business license, which is based on the sales that you may accumulate through the year, and then you may have to pay for zoning application. You may have to pay for business personal property. However, for EIN, for the DUNS number, for the SAMS cage code, you do not have to pay. If you're going to submit for any government certification set asides, disadvantaged business enterprise, small business enterprise, woman-owned business enterprise, disabled veteran, small business, or SBA, those you do not have to pay. If you get a company to help you with those applications, they will charge you a service fee for them processing it, but you don't pay for those governmental services. Don't charge you. The state charges you. Federal agencies don't charge you. But the state, they had to find a way to get in your pocket some way or the other, right? So you would have to pay that. So being able to brand, in reference, getting your LLC. When you talked about the tax documentation, I would encourage everyone out there, if you don't already have an accounting system, that's why. So when I tell people to join my team, and they say, "Hey, can I get your training? Can you teach me grants? Can you teach me contracts? There's things of that nature." And I say, "You got to join my team." The reason I have people join my personal financial success, my econ team, is because it comes with a simple accounting system. Every business needs to have some form of accounting system, whether it's cash flow manager, QuickBooks, Peachtree, Wave, Gusto, Tax Slayer books, whatever, right? Or you doing Excel. You need to have some kind of accounting system where you can upload your receipts and document your income and expenses, because mass majority of our businesses out there, they do not. Mike, hold on. Mike. Mike. Oh, we can hear everything you say on live.
We live, man. We live.
I know. He going in. He get excited. That you when you're expanding business, and or these business opportunities come up in reference to grants or loans, then they will ask you for financial statements, whether it's a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, an income statement, and those items you can spit that out really easy if you have accounting systems. And so one of the things that plague our businesses is the fact that simple administrative component of producing a financial statement, whether it is to get a line of credit, whether it is to apply for SBA opportunity, maybe it's for a corporate. A lot of businesses have minority grants, or they're doing something small business wise to try to help in this pandemic. But what's keeping us from getting into these is the fact that you're not incorporated or you don't have financial statements. And so the reason I get people to join my econ, because for that simple $34.95 a month payment, giving you the self-employment opportunity, but also you get an accounting system where you can upload your income, upload your receipts, document them, and then at the drop of a dime, be able to spit out a profit and loss statement or a financial statement so that you can benefit. You can't benefit doing business if you don't keep your business in order. And too often our business is not in order. And so when opportunity comes, especially when you're talking about dealing with corporate, or you're talking about in the area like you're in, Mr. Aaron, and you're talking about doing, getting these contracts, things of that nature, yes, you can fly sole proprietor all day long, and all of that liability goes up on you as a person. And even if you have an LLC, it's 3 ways you can file the LLC. You can file it as a sole proprietor, you can file it as a single member disregarded entity, or you can file it as a corporation. So when you've done your EIN number, the 8832 or the 2558, they ask you to fill out. They're asking you to establish yourself how you're going to do it, which is cool and fine. If you file your LLC as a sole proprietor, that means the liability is on you. If you file it as a disregarded entity or corporation, that means the liability is on the company, which is all fine and dandy, however you want to do it. The point of the matter is that you establish it. You said something very key early. You establish your business, and then administratively, you have that documentation in order as well. And so when you go forward, right, it doesn't matter about the tax requirements. Why? Because you already set up properly. The biggest issue is that when you talk about taxes, so let's say, for example, you get this $1 million contract. Most people, they would think, okay, he got $1 million contract to do play-by-play. They're going to take that $1 million. They think it's $1 million shopping spree. You have to break that $1 million down because you have some responsibilities. You already know you're going to get taxed. Here's the problem I have with people in business. If you got a contract and they're paying you to pay the tax, what's the damn problem? Pay the tax. I don't listen, Mr. Aaron. That's my biggest pet peeve.
That's
you
the
just
double hustle.
You just land the $5 million contract and you crying about paying taxes. You trying to pay people under the table. You got 1099s knowing their employees. Here the feds come knocking at your door. Now you mad because now you owe big tax liability bill. Dude or sister, pay the tax. Get you an accountant. If you pushing a contract, whether it's a private contract or dealing with the federal, put them set the what, Sonny?
We're gonna have to have a long talk after this show is over. You know that,
listen,
right?
I'm gonna start. Listen, I'm gonna do a live
long talk.
Right. I'm gonna do a live tax return. I'm doing all these shows with the brothers because January, right, the first week, I'm gonna hit y'all the first week. I'm gonna do a live tax return, right, and show you how that actually works. What we have to get through our mental is this. Whatever money if I make $100, it's not $100 to go in my pocket as a salary. Maybe 75 is. The other $25 gotta be broken out. You got your business license money that you have to pay, that percentage of sale, whatever that is. If you're selling product, you may have your sales taxes, and then you got your federal taxes. So when you're doing your budgets in the class, when I start that 12-week over, one of the components I cover in reference to the budget is that when you break down your money, that you take in consideration the taxes. When you price yourself, so when Mr. Aaron goes out and he has to put a price on his talent, it shouldn't be just what you want to make for you.
No.
You have to add the tax piece on there so that whatever it is in California, so let's just say it's the 12% or the 8.45%, the 6.2% plus the 1.45, which is like 8 point something, right? Let's just say
right.
9.
You in the right area.
You add, yeah. So you add that. So if I want to make $100 an hour, I'm gonna add the taxes to that, right? Now I'm making $100 plus that 7-8%, right? So my fee now and plus my markup 2 to 3%. So it should go. So between the tax, so the rule of thumb is between the tax and your company markup, it should be somewhere between 7 to 15%, and I wouldn't go over 20, right? So anybody who knows who doing contractual services, that's why they say, what's your fee? Because if you screw up and you don't include taxes in it, because when you go to any department store, you cannot shop and don't get taxed. So if you screw up your services fee and you don't add the taxes to it, right? So if you add the taxes to it, you put the tax on the consumer, then guess what? Now you could take that tax, you could put that in an account, you could pay yourself, and you could just wait until your statement come to pay your taxes. Then you're cool.
I mean, even on just
is this? I was gonna say, is this the point where I come in? I don't want to say the nigga stuff, but this is the point where I come in with my stuff as far as like how to pay off different things in business or without business and not be able to be taxed. Because I actually want to get back into the economic conversation.
Yes.
Because I really like where he was going with the video, and I saw so much because I'm a hustler by nature, so I look at stuff, and while I'm watching the video, I'm seeing so many things that can be marketed, right? And so in my mind, like with the things that I'm learning, I'm a sponge when it comes to this education and information. It's just like, bam.
So ask Aaron your questions about the video. The one we just played, the basketball. We got 2 more videos to play, right?
I mean, it's so many things to unpack because there's things that you said that are great that we need to unpack, and there's things that he said. But for the audience purposes, you don't want to cut it off. So I like to just go from the beginning all the way and then come back forward.
Going
from where we started and going forward.
Ask your question to Mr. Aaron so he can address.
Okay. I probably got a bunch of questions.
You get to ask.
How about this? As far as your jerseys, I know you probably got sponsored by the shoes and stuff. As far as the jerseys, as far as your printing, as far as different things like that, do you already have a company that already does that?
Okay, so the Venice Basketball League has Puma Hoops as a sponsor, right? So that's why you saw the tennis shoes and you saw the Puma emblem on my jersey. So that's something that question would probably be better to be addressed to the people who run the VBL. Me personally, I'm still open for sponsors. As long as I'm with the VBL, then I'm going to represent the VBL, right? But I'm also in talks with the American Basketball Association, their TV wing. And so I don't know who sponsors them, right? My personal goal would be to have individuals that would want me while I'm doing play-by-play, during commercials or whatever, if they wanted their business advertised by me, then I would make myself open to be hired for that, as long as it wasn't any contractual, what word am I looking for? As long as I'm not violating any rules that the VBL or the ABA or hopefully the NBA got for me, right? And I can still promote businesses from the neighborhood, mom and pop stores, you know what I'm saying? Those businesses that lost a lot during this pandemic. If I can find a way to promote them, I would do that. And I don't know if that's specifically in the advertising that you're talking about or having a sponsor, right? But my thinking is, let me help the little person out because the people that I'm working for already have somebody helping them out.
No, yeah, I totally get it. So my thing is I have a wide range of networks and I love to listen and learn. So as far as what you were saying with different companies, they actually have their own thing going in their own brand. With your brand and your company, do you have your own specific people that can do different things as far as like, I got a lot of questions with a lot of stuff, but that I saw, but we'll just start with the apparel.
So with Elevated Entertainment, we're looking at, again, it's family orientated. And so what I did was I have my eldest niece, Kai, as the CEO. So she does what a chief executive officer does. She makes sure that everything is running smooth. And mind you, we're talking about a company that's only 2.5 weeks, we're in nascency stage right now.
Oh yeah.
My other niece is my manager, Rashay. So she's running everything on the ground level. All of these podcast interviews that I got lined up this week and next week, and also the VBL will be back in Huntington Beach on Sunday, right? She makes sure that she lines all this stuff up for me and lets me know everything that I need to do, right? My nephew, Khalil Fant, who's a producer of music, calls himself Khalil the Prophet. He's dealing with music. You know, when we set our studio up and we set our own podcast studios up, we can rent this space out, but he'll be running that area. That's his forte. My other nephew, Richie, is a performer who performs under the name Mad Rich. He's a young rapper, right? And so I told him, listen, man, I'm gonna need you to put together a theme song for whatever podcast show that I put together, or whatever live stream show comes out of this. You know, I need you to put the theme music together and be involved with your brother in the music area. And then we have Angie, who comes in as basically a financial advisor, playing in the position that Monica just spoke about, until I actually get basically a CPA that can make sure that everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be lined up. So we're covering our financial responsibilities to the state and the federal government, and at the same time making sure that we're also giving back to the community while we're taking care of ourselves at the same time. There's other aspects to the company that can definitely grow out. As you mentioned earlier, apparel. We definitely will want to do that because we want to market our clothes. You know what I'm saying? If we have Elevated Entertainment, I went and got some shirts made. I got some hats made. You know, we need ink pens, mugs, you know what I'm saying? Stenography tablets, coasters, anything that we can put Elevated Entertainment on and sell it, you know, for the individuals who used to be on the grind in the streets. You understand what I'm saying? Once your product is hidden, you find all kind of ways to get it out, you know, and if we keep doing this legally the right way, we could keep slanging legal product and not get in trouble for it, just as long as we pay our taxes, right? And that also means an individual like you who has these ideas or who has these avenues bringing you in, saying, okay, what you got? Let's see what you're talking about, man. Because you saying you can do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, put some on the table so we can look at it. You drop some on the table and it's like, man, we could use this as part of what we're doing, and we can pay this cat well on what they're doing, right? And there's another aspect of this that I'm gonna say now while it's on my mind. One of the things that we're doing in Elevated Entertainment is to make sure that we not only give returning citizens from incarceration a leg up and try to give them an opportunity to where they can have a place where they can come to and work or do something to build with us. But we also looking at bringing a lot of women up in here, because, and not just specifically Black women, even though that's the foundation for our community, but women in general, you know what I'm saying? Women of color, right? And Black women at the foundation, because the entire time that I was in prison and the entire time I had that cell phone for the last 9 years or so, it was Black women that supported me. Some of them I met online, some of them in my family, right? And so that's another thing I want to give back to, man, because without them, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, you know? And so if you can monetize the thoughts of Black women and allow them to be free in a community or inside of a company, or you can have women in general around you and allow their ideas sometimes to raise up an idea like yours, where you say, I got this apparel thing, and they say, okay, well, hold on. Because, you know, women, we'll buy a house, but women come in and nest it. You know what I'm saying? They furnish it up. And so if we can take an idea and then pass it to them and say, well, what would you want to do with this? And then take that, bam, and now we got something to sell it. Now all of us is getting a piece of the pie, right? And we got a product that's going out that everybody wants, right? And it's raising up the whole community at the same time. That's how I think. You know, I know there's people that don't think.
It's a whole lot of things that I'm really into. On the legal side, like how I said before, before I was on the page of I never wanted my son to have to ask another man a question that I couldn't answer. So I started studying everything. And
Right.
then so then it got to the point to where I'm too smart to do crime. That's why I don't go back to jail. Before I was going back and forth to jail, and I was just I stayed in for a long time. So then it got to the point to where I'm too smart to do crimes, and when I figured out a way to where I can do things and still be able to make the same amount of money that a person that makes an honor, like I'm not balling with it, but the same way that a person that makes a 9 to 5 or works a 9 to 5 and be able to do what they do, I'm able to do that sitting at home, right? So I figured out this way. And then when I figured out this way, it was just, it made it on the page of where, how can I actually market this thing? This is where I'm at with it. How can I actually market it and teach it? Because it doesn't hurt me to actually teach this. So this is a difference of where I'm at. And this is why I listen to a bunch of different things. This is why it doesn't hurt me to pay for the classes that I'm in with Monica. And a lot of people really should join that really don't understand that it's so many avenues for you to make revenue streams. It's not even funny. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I would have never thought, right, back in 2007, 2008, when I'm sitting on a prison yard doing play-by-play for soups, deodorant, sodas, that I would walk out and actually have an opportunity to be successful at monetizing what I did, right? And that's what makes the brand Aaron Showtime Taylor different from the person Aaron Taylor, right? See, if the brand Aaron Showtime Taylor disappears from the market, I'm still comfortable being Aaron Taylor. Because what I would do, I'd call my cousin up. Hey, Drain, man, what's happening? Hey, man, I need to work. And he's going to be like, all right, come on. And I'm still going to find a way to make legal money, right? If making memes online could be monetized, I'd be a triple millionaire by now. Some things can and some things can't be monetized. The thing about it is you need to find a way, and it's that hustle mentality. How can I flip this? How can I flip this? This is what you just said. I'm at the point now where I'm figuring out how to flip this, right? And
it could be something as small as you getting, like, say for instance, this is something I'm gonna throw out there real quick. And I was just talking to somebody about this earlier because I have a different perspective of how I live my life. So it could be something as small as, like, okay, I have something or some product I want to market and I have an idea of it. I really want to push this by next month. You could be on a page of where uh, in 5 minutes you can go through Credit Karma, right? And say you got bad credit, and they give you the credit cards that you can get. And these credit cards that you can get, you don't even that might be like a $200 credit line, right? And you can apply for them, and they can give you the cards without no money down, right? Now, when you get the money to get the money down, you can take this, apply for something like My Jewelers, liquidate the card, be on the page of using that money that you liquidate the card with. If you have an account, then you can be on the page of expanding whatever you need. Like, bam, I need to go, say for instance with the clothes, I need to go downtown. You already know downtown they have the garment district. The garment district has stuff for cheap. I might got the polo shirts. Everybody out here gang banging love the polo shirts. Polo shirts is $1.10. You sell them at the stores, they $10 a piece. But over here, I'm buying them at $100 a piece for $1.10. You know what I'm saying? So now I could liquidate that money, take that, go over here, buy these shirts, go over here, hustle this, sell it back because I can do all of this within a 2 week span, put this money back into the account. Now I'm on a page where I can expand that credit. I done already paid my credit card off. I done already paid the debt off. I made extra money just based on them $10 shirts. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that you can actually do within a month span that people don't really talk about. So this is the stuff I wanted to get on, but it's a lot of stuff to unpack.
I mean, it sounds like you just laid it out. I mean, that's a hustler's mentality.
No, I mean, that's just an example. I got a lot of stuff.
But what better example to give than the one that you gave, detailed out, right, from a hustler standpoint, right? And a lot of people get hustling confused with being something negative. You just laid out a legal hustle, how to get it started, you know what I'm saying, with a $200 credit line that you went liquidated the money, went downtown to the garment district, bought a certain amount of clothes at retail, at wholesale price, went and slung it, right, at your price, re-up, paid your debt, and now you're moving in the way you're supposed to move. So let me give it to you how we used to do it in the 80s in the same way, right? You go to the dope man, right? The dope man fronts you a sack. He tell you, hey man, I need $100 back on this. He give you $100 double up. You go take the $100 double up, you sell it, you give him his $100. Now everything you make going forward is all you. So now you get another $100, you go get a $50 double up, right? And then you start moving. This is how the dope game used to work. All you did was took that dope game mentality, moved it into apparel, and went to work. It's really that easy. It's not that hard. The principles apply across the board. Again, this is why I jumped up off the couch last week when Angie said, you need to hear this. And you guys were supposed to be like 5 minutes, he was ready to go out. And I'm like, ooh, this is the business right here. Because the principle is always going to be the same. The principles and the rules to the game don't change. People try to change the rules and the principles, but it's not really happening. Go ahead.
And the only difference is that one, you have to account for to continue for your neighborhoods to flourish the way they do, your school systems
right.
to look the way they do or have the resources it needs. And the other one, you have no accountability. So everything you have, you bring in is yours. You do what is fit. So it's almost like a catch-22 in reference to that conversation. A lot of it, I always say that men are the best CEOs because if you came out of that hustle environment and you flying legit and you're in business, you have it all. Some you said earlier, I had walked away, but I heard it when you said you bring the sisters in and then monetize the information. Because what I try to explain to a lot of brothers is the fact that many of us would spend a lot of time in the administrative world, in the corporate world, in the government world, military, all these different areas. And so we accumulate all this knowledge of the administrative side of what business should be, how it should operate. We're coming from operating procedures that we probably had to put together, policies that we probably had to put together, trainings, all curriculums, all of this stuff, everything that you need to add to your businesses that you're already successful in. You just need that administrative compliance component, all of which you really don't have time to do because you boots on the ground. So
that sums it up right there. You need somebody, okay, I'm the president of Elevated Entertainment. Could I run the financial department? Sure, I'd have to go in and re-educate myself on a lot of stuff. But why not get somebody that knows how to do it already? That's what you call delegating authority to somebody, right? That's why could I do the music? I'm an old school B-boy. You know what I'm saying? Of course I could put some beats together. But why should I do it when I can hire somebody to do it?
Thank you.
And have them take care of that. Could I manage my own career? Of course I could. I got a mouthpiece. My name is Showtime. But why not hire somebody and have them be the manager? I still have to get an agent. I have an attorney, a bigger one that's up, but I still need another attorney that's going to handle some of the day-to-day stuff that comes up. So why not hire somebody else? It's not like I don't know the law. I was in prison for 26 years. Of course I know some law. I could function in that role, but why not get an expert? And for me, it goes back to, you get some women around you and you invest in those women and make them know that they're invested in the success of this company. You pay them first before any money starts coming into Elevated Entertainment. Be clear about this.
We're going to take care of you.
My nieces and nephews know this already, and so does Angie. I'm not receiving a dime until they get paid first. Why? Because I'm Aaron Showtime Taylor. I'm a brand. I'm going to get mine, but I need the people that help push Elevated Entertainment into the position that I believe it's going to be in to get paid first, so they know that the investment that they made was an immediate payoff as soon as some money got into the account, right? And for me, once you take Black women and put them in these positions and you let them run that company, or not just Black women, but women in general, right? I'm speaking about Black women because obviously I'm Black, but when you get women in general, when you invest in them and allow them to let all of their skills, let all of their sets that they bring together, women know how to work a problem out together. They're not going to sit and let their nuts drop down to their knees to try to figure out who's right or wrong. They're going to figure out the best way to move forward. Now, maybe it might be your time this time. Maybe next time it's your time over here, right? But they're going to figure out a way to make things work, and then they know how to work well together, even while they sniping at each other, because I done seen women do that too. But the goal is, okay, we're invested in moving this company forward. And so for me, I'm like, well, man, if you invest in women, especially if you invest in Black women, there's no way you can lose. The only way you lose is if you don't trust them to come up with the type of ideas and the type of hustle that we're talking about. So that, like you pointed out, if me or Sonny wants to go down to the garment district and do all of these moves and stuff, we need some women back at the office who's taking calls, who's taking orders, who's setting up routes. The truck is coming this way. It's supposed to land here this day. How come this truck ain't here? Get this truck here. We need to, you know what I'm saying? You need women to do that type of stuff. Now, me personally, I could put people together, or let me phrase it this way. This is easier to say. What I learned in prison is that don't always look at leadership at the head of the table. Look who's sitting around the table, because each one of those persons is a leader. Each one of them could sit in your seat, but you want these leaders in these positions because that way you don't have to worry about what's taking place. I need a CFO. Under the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, you're going to have your CPA, you're going to have somebody handling your payroll, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have somebody paying the bills, right? You see what I'm saying? Okay, now I need over here, the Chief Operating Officer, which I am, is to make sure that I meet with everybody who's heading these departments, right? And you better have an answer when I come to you and ask you, what's up with this? Because if the government call me and tell me we owe some money, the Chief Financial Officer is going to be sitting right in front of me, and you better bring the CPA because I want to know how come this ain't got taken care of when I paid you to get this, to make sure that our back was covered when it comes to this financial part of this. Now, if we go over here to the apparel section, and let's say his son's over there, right? And okay, Sonny, look, you said you had a sweatsuit design for fat people like me. And you had this sweatsuit design, and you said it was going to be something like Sergio Tacchini back in the day. So where's it at? And you say, okay, and you hit the button and the screen rolls up and you got the whole layout, the whole presentation. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is what we hired Sonny for. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about somebody on the ground. Okay, look, Elevated Entertainment is going to run a basketball tournament over here on the east side of LA. I'm going to need 4 or 5 people who's plugged into the community on the ground level to go make sure that we can hire who's ever in that neighborhood to run security for the event that we finna put on. So not only are we coming into your neighborhood to put on the event, but now we're going to hire you as security to make sure that the event runs well. So now we're employing people from the neighborhood, right? And we're empowering that neighborhood as well. And then we're bringing the best light to that neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of thing that I'm into, not just as a motivational speaker, because I can motivate your ass if I need to, right? But as a person that's giving back by investing financially into the people that's a part of the business, that's a part of the neighborhood, which goes back to what Monica said about reinvesting into the community, right? Which brings me to another point, but why it just popped in my head. When I got back here to LA, I seen the most blatant forms of gentrification take place. my block where I grew up.
With the Asians.
I don't even know. I'm not going.
When you get to the Europeans, when it on in West and East LA, the Europeans have been buying up a lot of stuff. When you get into like the valleys, like when you was talking about Sis in San Fernando Valley or San Gabriel Valley, the Asians have been buying it up. And
well, I'm gonna say it this way.
Things, yeah,
because
there's a lot of stuff you've been talking about that because you hitting on a bunch of points that like we really need to unpack on. But
what I don't want to do, I don't want to point out a specific race or a specific ethnicity. What I want to point out.
That's what it is, because in reality, you don't look at Black people gentrifying other people's areas.
Well,
we look at other races investing when it comes to the real estate and the stock market, right? Black people really aren't into it unless we're into groups like this, as far as the conscious community or people that understand wealth or people that's trying to get better or grow wealth. Or generational wealth, like how you was talking about, right? People that understand that concept. Those are the only people that are really into it, and that's a small percentage. When it comes to these other races, these races are taught within these homes to do this. Like how when I was talking about the credit card thing, right? A lot of races are on the page of where they put their kids on at 12 and 13 on their background with their credit. So by the time they're 18, they already have a full background to where they can get cars off the lot with no money down. There's a lot of kids. I live in an area right now where it's a lot of kids. I live on a block, right, where it's kids that got the same type of thing as me based on their parents' background, giving them credit. So, you know what I'm saying? These kids are in high school and they're coming out with brand new Mustangs or brand new Corvettes or brand new, you know what I'm saying? And it's on the page that they didn't work for this. It's on the page that they have the credit background. And so when we start understanding,
it goes back to that point I said about Donald Trump, right? See, I looked at this while I was sitting in a prison cell. When I looked at the numbers and I seen how many Black men voted for Donald Trump in 2016, right? I was like, damn, didn't they hear what he was talking about? Didn't they hear some of the stuff he was saying in public? But then that empathy kicked in. And I said, oh, these brothers voted for Donald Trump because they see him as a pillar of somebody who was successful. And they see that he know how to work the system. And so they think that he's going to show them how to work the system too, right? So they made an investment with him with their franchisement, which was their vote. Now, I'm not saying whether if it was right or wrong, but what I'm saying is it brings me to this point. Somewhere along the line, I personally believe those brothers that voted for Trump, that bypassed all of the antics that he did, was looking to remove themselves away from saying, I'm tired of living this way. I want to try to live this way. And so they started trying to take personal responsibility for themselves and said, I'd rather try to follow Donald Trump because the political system, the way it's been set up, ain't been working for me for Democrats or Republicans. Now we know 4 years later, wait, hold up. Now we know 4 years later that.
No, I agree with you. I'm just on, I got so many things, you know what I'm saying, but this is on the page where everybody's gonna hate me if I start talking about it. But he said, I agree with you saying.
Yeah, but he said a couple of things that, trust me, I don't support the dude at all. Like if you go on my YouTube channel, you can see what I said about him being a straight mark. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah.
But he said a couple of things along the way that I could see why a Black man would just forget the stuff about the racism, man. I'm just trying to get the money because I'm tired of living like this, right? And I'm tired of having, every time I take one step, I'm getting dragged back 3. And here's a dude who set up he still hasn't showed you his tax returns. And he not gonna do it. Because to him, he could care less what you think about him because he got it. And so I could see why Black men would do that, right? And so that empathy kicked in up here. Okay, so when am I gonna get to the point where I'm gonna stop saying these people did this and these people did that and they taught they people this and they taught they people that, and then I get the knowledge and teach it to mine? You see what I'm saying? And that's the aspect that I'm looking at it now. I'm getting the knowledge and the ability that I use to motivate people to get them to move, plus the knowledge that I have as well to get people to move towards self-accountability and self-responsibility, right? Because we can't depend on nobody in the political class to move us forward. I don't care that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is in the White House. They're politicians. I don't care that Trump and Pence was in the White House. Trump may not have been a politician, but Pence was, right? And with the previous administration, with Obama and Biden and every other administration we can go back to on a history lesson when it deal with the politics in this country, every time we get one up in there, ain't nothing been better for us. We should be way further than we are based on the Civil Rights Act in 1963, 64, and 65, and the Voting Rights Act and all of this other stuff. We should be way further, but it seemed like every time we go to do something, there's always, well, you know, we forgot to tell you about this one little piece of the law we put up in there, you know, and we forgot to tell you about this part of government assistance that you can't have a man in the house. And we forgot to tell you about this little part right here, you know, where if you did this, then we can throw you in jail for 5 years. And we forgot to tell you about this little part. Somewhere along the line, as you just mentioned, we need to stop, get educated, and then teach ours and work the system the way that everybody else is working the system. It should be no need for gentrification, right? We should be reinvesting into these places. We shouldn't be talking about how they came on 31st Street, and when I left in 1994, it was one Hispanic family, one Asian family, and one white family. And when I came back to the place where I grew up and called home, there's only 3 black families left. And everything else has been flipped around. It shouldn't have happened that way because
for real.
We were supposed to reinvest into our neighborhoods. We were supposed to hook up with USC, and when they started their expansion, make sure that we set something aside and say, look, we see what you're doing, that's a good thing, but here's what we need for our community. You know, when Magic Johnson started the Magic Johnson Theater and the swap meet and all this other stuff over here, when I come back, some of that stuff is tore down already. So how come it only lasted, you know, a quarter century? Well, now we can go into the rules of the 5% of Nation of Islam on build and destroy. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's built will be destroyed. You're going to have to rebuild it again. But 25 years, it should have lasted much longer than that, especially considering that Magic Johnson is the quote unquote type of businessman he is. And he made these investments to give us a heads up. Somewhere along the line, we're going to have to start taking personal responsibility and start taking self-accountability for our own selves. And that's one of the reasons why I started this company, for my family and to help other people as well. But it started out with me, I want to do something for my family. I don't want my family to be caught up in that cycle no more. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm an example of an individual who came out of prison with rocket fuel in his ass to get this thing started, then I think everybody should take a step back and look and say, man, if this dude who just did 26 years in prison, granted he got a couple of hookups, but if he just did 26 years in prison, he came out like this, then why in the hell wasn't I doing anything? What was I doing for the past 25 years?
In 47 days.
I've been out 47 days, brother.
47 days. I got a sharp memory. 47 days. So, man, come on.
And I got video proof evidence of
we got to stop playing with the game.
There's a
the
video.
The example I gave you as far as like with the Credit Karma, you can do that with no money down and be able to start your business.
I can tell you right now,
within 2 weeks.
I can tell you right now, to the dollar, how much money I invested to get what I got right now. And I'm telling you, it's less than $500. It took less than $500 to do the things I'm doing. I'm not doing nothing special. I just sat back and seen, this is the lane I want to do this in. Okay, how can I get this done? As a matter of fact, why don't you play that TikTok video? The one that's about 40 seconds on it.
Monica got that.
What? Okay, I got you. Which one?
That 40-second video, the TikTok.
TikTok. All right. This one?
Got a picture of me as a kid on the front at the very beginning.
I got it. Right there.
Because see, it's about marketing as well. The brand Showtime Taylor had to be marketed to a broader audience. You see what I'm saying? And it's not, I'm not taking away nothing from the VBL and the documentaries that they're doing and some other documentaries that are being worked on. But I was looking at it and I said, man, there's a way that I want to be promoted. And so I need to learn how to promote myself. So I downloaded TikTok, sat and played with it for an hour and came up with a little 40-second piece that's gotten a lot of views.
This is how legends are made.
Oop, there it is.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard. That was 40 seconds, right? Now I don't want nobody to look at that and feel like, man, I'm not doing enough. Maybe there's something that you can do that you missed. Maybe there's something you're thinking about or dreaming about that you want to do that you just haven't done yet. What I'm saying is go for it. You don't have to sit around and think about 10 years from now, man, if I'd have sit back and did that, man, what the brother said, man, I'd be way further. You know how many guys, when I picked up the guitar in prison in 2014, man, I was thinking about learning how to pick the guitar up. And in 2017, when I'm playing what I want to play, and when I'm playing what I want to play when I hear it, and I'm listening to songs and I'm picking them up. And then just last week during Thanksgiving, I went to my sister-in-law's house and my cousin's house, and I'm sitting up in there and they like, play this, play this, play this, play this. As soon as they said I'm playing it, you know how many guys along the way said, man, if I'd have picked the guitar up when you did, I could probably be where you at. But they never picked the guitar up. Man, I could have been a millionaire, man, if I would have just invested right here when the brother was saying that, but you never invested. Stop talking and do it. Stop all of this and be like this and just do it. No, nothing's stopping you from being successful but you. You're your worst enemy, but you can also be your biggest proponent, because nobody can stop you from doing anything as long as you believe in yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to people who get in your way and tell you what you can and what you can't do. You know, realize the people on parole was telling me what I can and can't do until my parole officer looked and saw what I was doing and said, man, I'm going to make an investment in you and move you from here to there. People will believe in you if you believe in yourself. You have to believe in you. You have to be the first and the last person that says, I can do this. We keep hearing about positive affirmations, you know, get up in the morning and tell yourself, I'm a good person. I'm a king, grand risings. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind, I'm humble, I'm loving, I'm worthy of attention. That's all cool until it's time for you to put it into effect. Well, in 47 days, I came out and put this into effect. I'm not waiting on nobody to tell me what I can and can't do. And I never did it. Once I say this is right and this is going to work for other people and it's going to take a minute for other people to catch up, I moved. That's how I started that newspaper on the level 3 yard. And a year later, the captain found out about it and said, well, this is already working. So let me try to get in and, you know, make sure that you're doing it the right way. Cool. I love it because I was breaking some rules. But she saw the good work that it did. And instead of stopping it, she showed me how to do it the right way. When I helped put those leads together, right? There was people telling me what I could and couldn't do. There was a gambling bet on the yard that I was going to have the whole thing crash between the races on the yard. And it never did. Never did. And then Warden comes down and calls me the commissioner and gives me a certificate, right? And when I got to San Quentin, there was people standing in the way telling me, you'll never get audio equipment. I'll make sure that you'll never call a game. And I didn't let that stop me. I did it anyway. You are the only person that can stop you from doing the right thing. Get out there and do the right thing. Now, what I've heard so far from Monica is that she's charging $35 to educate a brother on certain things dealing with this LLC and understanding taxes. So I'm going to go to my manager when this is over with. Hey, do we got $35 that we can invest into this class? Because we're going to need to understand what we're dealing with. So if we do break a rule, we know what rule we're breaking and why we're breaking it and what we can do to clean it up. as a grammarian, as a person who can read and write several different languages, when people ask me, well, why did you put this word together like this? Because I understand the rule that I broke. And so I can break this rule here and I can clean it back up over here and build it back together again. The principles, again, are the same across the board. It doesn't matter. You have to know the rules to the game to get in the game. And then you have to know how to work those rules in the game to be successful. It's really that simple. And I'm saying this because I'm doing my outro because I still have responsibilities to the state. I'm 30 minutes late. I'd already texted my house manager while I was in this meeting. Hopefully she got on YouTube and saw that I'm not running the street. I'm actually in the podcast interview that I said, right? However, I've conducted myself in such a fashion in the transition home that the few times that I have come in late, she understands why. You see what I'm saying? And that goes back to character, what we were speaking about earlier, because I make sure that I do everything on time and I handle my responsibilities. And she understands that I'm building a business as an individual who's been out for 47 days. And she's working with me. She has her responsibilities too, right? And I try to make sure I meet her, everything she says, but there are those a few occasions where I may run over because I'm doing something like this, right? But I'd rather get docked for being late and have the opportunity to tell somebody who just got out, or tell that young man or that young woman who's just coming out of school, or who's thinking about starting their own business and they're working for somebody and they don't know the investment direction that they want to do, to tell them, you can do it. Nothing is stopping you but you. Believe in you. And one last thing before I go. There's a statement that I function by, and it's pretty solid. The master has failed 1,000 times before the student has taken the first attempt. Say that again. The master, the person you looking at who you think is like, man, that dude got it all together, has failed many, many times before you took your first attempt. And that goes back to the only way you're going to succeed is to step out and make those mistakes and then don't repeat those mistakes. When you make the mistake, educate yourself on the mistake that you made and then don't repeat it and move forward step by step, step by step. You are the masters of your own destiny. I'm telling you, go get it, because I'm going to get mine. Straight up and down with no.
Hey, before you leave, can you put your link in the chat or put your link in the back chat over where we at?
Wait, say that again. Put what, where?
You want you to
link.
Tell people how they can find you.
So you can find me. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube at Aaron Showtime Taylor, right?
Okay.
You can find me on Snapchat, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter at Rebirth a Chick, right? And I also have opinion pieces up. I have some videos of me and my mother, me and Sister Delbert when I first got out, and we're gonna get back to doing some more of those where, you know, my mama hadn't seen me, or I hadn't woke up in my mother's house in almost 30 years. And I woke up here where I'm sitting at right now. I said, I'm 55. I'm finna act 5 up in here right now.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you, and tell your supervisor, the person who's overseeing you, tell her we appreciate her allowing you to stay those extra minutes and spend with us. I totally apologize. I have to definitely be more mindful of time.
But no, I'm not gonna let you take blame for that, because I didn't tell you.
Right. I want to replay that second video again and go out with that with a bang, because I really enjoyed, and so people can see exactly. So when they see you in the future, they know, you know what, this was preparation. I was acting on this prior to release, and here's where I am now dealing with the NBA and all these all-star games and things of that nature that you actually did for others. And I think the most important piece for me interviewing the brothers is the fact that you're not selfish and you're only looking out for you, what you're looking at for your community. And with that being said, and total appreciation, let's go out with this video with a bang.
San Quinn Populous, welcome to the 2018 season. 5 years into the new age of Aquarius this season. You got Harry Smith, also known as ATL. On the basketball court, you saw the Phenom. Alan McIntyre, also known as Black, but I call him PTSB, programmed to score baskets. Anthony Adams, aka Ant, also known as Half Man, Half Amazing. Jack that thing up, he ball over the Half Man, Half Amazing.
Yeah, he's the one that's
At least they get that out of here.
Oh, you the one that was calling the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
you
got
on?
picked up by that.
Yeah.
That's
seen
him.
the whole.
Also,
And he blows the layup. $1 million.
So they had to be the dude.
Here comes the mixer down the lane with the
You know, one of the coaches or something. That was
they call it
NBA coach.
Yeah. General
Like the
manager
boss
came
himself.
in. Yeah, general manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna tell him that. Yeah.
Nobody's cutting. Everybody's standing around. Oh, a turnover right here. Herb going the other way. If they make it, I'll put it in the refrigerator. You're gonna see something out here that's so unique. It's like, really, they decided to play basketball.
From Atlanta. He was like the best player on the whole prison.
Wow.
No,
He
none
went
of
home
that
and
stuff.
he called him ATL.
Yeah, he just said his name.
All that other stuff goes out the window. Basketball.
Monica, we can hear you.
The Phenom with it. The fast break opportunity for the Phenom. Oh, not the Sprite commercial. Ball back down low off the glass. It was the Phenom with the rebound in the bucket. Still the funky basketball player for deep three in the face. So what's up with the Warriors, man? They 6-4. They're playing a lot better. Drop a dive off. Oh, and he went in and bashed on him. Ball goes into Brett. Brett picked up by ATL. He backs out on him, and he traveled right there, and they didn't call him. Good tip by Blue on that pass. Going all the way to the rim. It's about time they picked up the defense right here. Ball comes in, Swaggy Smooth with it down the lane, all the way to the rim, put it up and in. Went through there like butter. Hot knife through butter on that play. 60-59 over the green team. This is the way you're supposed to start the season off.
I absolutely love it. Hey, listen, Aaron. My cousin just told me, he said, hey, what's it? I've seen that before. All the way down in Louisiana, baby. You would get your videos all the way down in the institutions in Louisiana. He was like, yeah, he calling names out on the video and everything. I'm like, wow.
They took cue ball and they Fox made it in 2018, and then Fox released it in 2019, and then they sold the rights over to Netflix.
What?
And so Netflix released it maybe 2 days before the COVID lockdown. And so when it hit Netflix, it went worldwide.
Wow.
You know, so again, I understand that I'm a unique individual getting released, and I understand the opportunities that I have based on cue ball and the things that grew out of it. However, each individual who's getting released has a uniqueness about them. It doesn't have to be, you know, on the stage that I'm at. You have skills, you have abilities, and you have networks that you cultivated, or you should have cultivated before you left prison, to make sure that you maximize your ability to succeed when you get out. You know, and people will help you along the way if they see that you're trying hard for yourself. There is people that will help you. So I want to encourage all my brothers and sisters who may be behind the wall watching this on the clap, or you just got out and you may be feeling down or something. No, don't get down on yourself. Get up on yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Lift yourself up, right? And for those of you who've never been to jail, but you just needed to see something like this to inspire you, to light a fire under your ass to get moving, then get moving. Don't let nothing stop you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let people's opinions or perceptions about you shape how you view yourself. You shape how you view yourself, right? If you're a king or a queen, then damn it, move that way. If you're a duke or an earl, move that way. But don't stop moving. Don't stop moving. Keep pushing yourself forward. I honor this sister for bringing me on today. I honor Angie for introducing me to her last week. I humbly thank the brother Sonny for his questions and his input in with me today and making sure that I stayed on point with the financial part of this, right? And anybody that's listening to me, that's hearing my words, man, I thank you just for spending time with me today on this particular platform. And hopefully I can be invited back again. And even if not, I want to be a part of the family here, right? Because you know that you have somebody in me that believes in you. I need you to believe in you, though, the way I believe in me. Because if I stop being Aaron Showtime Taylor, I'm cool with just being Aaron Taylor.
That's right.
I can be Aaron Taylor.
High five. Hey, Angie, there go your batter right there.
That's my partner right there. What's happening, 6'3"? What's going on?
Nice to see you. You did so well. Thanks, Aaron.
You know, I'm a reflection of the sisters that represent me. That's the best I can say.
Listen, you talking about sitting in my class. Angie got that knowledge now.
I can get it from free for her, though.
I know. Oh, what?
It's crazy because you got a short time, but that's why I said put your link in the chat. It's a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. It's a lot of stuff I wanted to unpack. It's a lot of questions.
We in the city together, brother. I'll give you my telephone. I'm gonna leave my telephone number with Monica in the messenger. If you might have it already, give him my number. Tell him, man, you call me. Like I said, I'm here in LA. I didn't have to run away from LA. I'm here. This is where I'm born and raised.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, you can hit me up, man. I'll go meet you anywhere. Red, blue, it don't matter. I can care less, man. I'm a vet, a street vet, you know, and so I can go anywhere I want to go, you know. Basically, like I said, I'm Aaron Showtime Taylor. What you
Showtime, send me that number.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going in everywhere.
Oh, well, when you do check me out, like on YouTube, my name is Sonny, right?
Sonny, I'm about to connect y'all now.
All my connections is Marcus Zulu Child.
Okay.
So I'm gonna connect you now, Sonny.
Marcus Zulu Child.
Okay, so now I definitely have to go now because I'm pushing.
Okay, peace, and I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you, and we'll be seeing you in the future.
Yes. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for the inspiration, and you can just, you know, leave the stream.
Now back to my boss.
Bottom right.
Over here, not telling me about the marketing streams.
I'm trying to sign off, and he on something else.
No, go ahead and log off, Miss Aaron. Hit the leave the stream.
Back to my boss. Her not telling me what I was supposed to be doing.
I'll let you out. Let me let you out so you can there you go. All right. Yes, Sonny. I already connected you in the chat. What's up, Angie? What's the stock tips for
today? Hey, Angie. Look at her with the big smile. Look, I know her cheeks hurt because she's been smiling since she came on the stream.
She always smiles.
Her cheeks must be used to those smiles because they gotta hurt.
That's right. I got a little ice cream money from Pfizer today. I was happy with that.
What?
Oh,
listen, I ain't traded in the last couple of days, man.
I wanted to hold it till the middle of January, but I kind of don't trust the way things been going with the good news, bad news, good news, bad news. So let me take some now, and I'll buy another option later.
So let me ask you, you buy a lot of
options.
Pour out though. You don't buy them like a week or a month. You buy them 4 out, right?
Yeah, because honestly, if you hear about it after it's in the news, it's kind of late. You know, if you're reading the trends like what you guys do with with Overdose and Chris and Brandon, when you read the trends, you already know what's about to show up in the news. You could almost tell that good news is gonna come, bad news is gonna come. They always go the reverse, right? In the news. If you hear about it in the news, then you're gonna have to get the longer options, the longer ones to kind of bet on it bouncing or reversing, in the opposite direction. That's basically what I do when I get the long term calls or puts.
No, that's a good strategy. Like, look at it like this, right? the average person, when they wake up in the morning, they wake up around what time do you think? The average person every day that works 9 to 5, does the regular thing, wakes up what
5,
time?
6.
5, 6, right?
Mhm.
5, 6 in the morning. What
Mhm.
time does the news start?
The news, what, around 8 o'clock, 7. I don't even watch the news.
5 in some places.
I don't even know.
24 hours.
6 o'clock. But for the stock news,
Local channels could be 5.
for the stock news, I mean, I don't see anything really starting until the until things open up, which is like
My bad.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
My bad. It was some people calling me. I couldn't. What did you say again?
I was saying I don't see like this real stock news until the market opens about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. You start seeing stuff, but they do have the 24-hour streams, but I don't even watch the news though. I do watch
Okay,
some
well,
of the YouTube streams, the live streams with the stock market.
well, this is what you should do. What my preference is, right? Just as far as learning, I am scary when I'm gonna be honest. I'm scary when it comes to certain things because my teacher, mentor, and boss to the right here doesn't really give me the influence that I really need. She just makes me do my Dagger Squad research. So so it's a difference. But I think that what you should do is set up where they have scheduled news early in the morning in a whole different area before we get the early morning area. That's just throwing a bar out there. Like the UK thing, I wake up, be honest, I'm in the California time. I wake up three in the morning every day. Like how you got them bodybuilders that they work out 3 hours a day and stuff like that. I study 3 hours a day. I just study different things 3 hours a day. I wake up early in the morning. That's why you might see me. And they be like, what's he on? I'm off coffee and education. So it's a difference. And so my thing is, like, I wake up, I get the early morning news, I cipher that, and then I go to, as soon as the markets open, I start looking at that. And then, I'm on an imaginary thing because I'm so timid. I ain't gonna say scary. I'm timid about the things I want to do, and it's just like, I would have wanted, I would have did this. Oh, I would have wanted, what I'm saying? Just so much stuff that's on that page.
But
And
you could do it in paper trade though, Sonny.
no, so it makes me where I only do the small things. But with the big things, it's like, oh, I would have killed. I would have did, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just so timid with it, because my boss, mentor, teacher.
She failed you.
Who, me?
No, she didn't fail me. She doesn't have the acquired time that I need right now.
Well, one thing I want to say real quick was I agree with what you're saying about catching the news earlier. So it's smart to go into other areas to look at the news. That's so smart. That's true. I used to work in portfolio management in Chase. I worked in portfolio management in Citibank. And so we had, like, of course, hundreds of monitors all over the place from all the different countries. So you're right. That's how they do it. But like, say, I'm on Robinhood now. You have to go on there at 4 o'clock in the morning and start watching the.
Well, I actually, so on mine I have Stash, Webull, Robinhood, and Thinkorswim, right? And so I have all of these at the same time. I wake up early in the morning. I turn all of these different things on. Look at all, the normal things we do. You know what I'm saying? Check out all our websites, all that other stuff. And this is my little program, to the point to where, like, where my significant be like, dang, this is like early in the morning, like, you know what I'm saying? But this is my mind frame for it. I might sleep during the day, or in the midday, but this is my morning thing.
Yeah.
Trying to educate, trying to see where I could get the money, see where everything lies, trying to learn different things. And the more you get better at it, I learned this from African Emporium. The more you do your due diligence on it, the more that you will be more sufficient, submit, my word, sufficient at it.
Yeah, and don't let remote schooling block you, because that's what goes on with me. Oh my God, it's killing me. As soon as the teachers start calling, I'm like, I missed something, and I'm like,
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't take long. And you but Sonny, you should start making those, like those plays you thinking about making. You should start making them in the paper trade, because then you'll be able to see, your own methodology. I know, you're a guy. You want to make that money. You want to make it now, but the paper trade.
Not just that. It's just that
strategy.
I have a big thing that, like, the stuff that I'm on right now. I was on it before I started taking classes and doing everything, because I'm an autodidact. Like I told you, I never wanted my son to ask me a question I couldn't answer. So I started studying everything I can, like from business to financial assessment to debt collection to everything I started learning. And then it got to the point to where people I heard they had better information, this would attract me because I would already have some kind of idea or clue of what they're talking about. Versus, like, you don't know what they're talking about, and then I start telling somebody about uh, going to check their credit and then getting a credit card and then spending this credit card to get another credit card and then using this credit card to liquidate this credit card. They'll be on the page of like, man, that's too much. They don't understand that whole concept when it really builds everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's free. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of different things that people don't understand. And I had to develop that. So it makes a difference. And once I started doing that, especially, this is why I like to share this program, because um, the more I started developing that habit to understanding everybody else's perspective on how you can win, you really can include it with your own thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes a big difference. Like, I would have never, if it wasn't for you, and a lot of other people too, not excluding them, but if it wasn't for you, like, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now, to where I haven't, like, all this year, like, I used to brag about working a 9 to 5, right? I used to work 9 to 5, and I'm working 12-hour shifts and 10-hour shifts, and I'm like, nigga, you should work with me, nigga. You ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? I used to be talking shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you know within 4 months of this year, I made triple what I made last year?
Working for
So I
yourself.
wasn't even. So it was just like, oh God, hell no. And I don't, And then the crazy part about it is this stuff I've been talking about for years until I actually got into the real education of it. And then, so when I got into the real education of it and started putting it into process, it's like everybody got an excuse. It was like, oh, this nigga, like, he got a handout, or he got this, or he's scamming, or he robbed somebody, or it's the EDD style, or, you know what I'm saying? Everything is an excuse on why the black man can't make it. Versus, like, everything is an excuse on why the black man can't make it, versus using your brain. Like, there's so many things out there.
Yeah. You and you just gotta you just gotta do it, man. Just work the process and do a little bit at a time, and then expand. Don't try to work the broad spectrum initially. So about this Pfizer option that you played today.
Who, me or are you talking about Angie?
Angie, I played a Pfizer. What you do?
Okay, I
Right
think
here?
I
Did you
could
just
share.
You want to share
This
your screen?
let me see. Let me see. It was this morning. I know. I saw that it.
Right at 9:45.
Oh wait. I lost you. God, what? How do I get back to
This
you?
morning would have been. Oh, that's another thing, Angie. Not to
Yeah.
cut you off while you're doing this, right?
Mhm.
While you're putting it up there.
Mhm.
This morning, if you would have been on the page of having the news for the early morning other countries, right, before it gets to us, then you would have had the up on the UK approving
Approval for
the
Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Yeah, I read that in the news
So
right
look
before I
at
looked.
so
Yeah.
this is the killer. So your strike price early would have been cheap, and then it would have boosted you would have boosted even further from knowing ahead of time what was already going to come in effect, because you already are ahead of everybody that wakes up.
But you can't
Because
play.
everybody that wakes up over here, would you say about 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning? When over there they're 8 hours ahead of time, so you would already have the info up on them, and then by the time the market would have opened, you would have flooded with whatever you wanted to do.
Right. I'm trying to find.
You can only do an option during market hours. So you still would have to wait. Unless
Yeah,
you
but I was lucky to see that news.
I'm saying there's more information if you get it ahead of time versus like I gotta wait until the CBS comes with some or ABC comes with some at 4 o'clock in the morning this time. Because if I'm on the page of where on my internet I already have European time or I have everybody else's time, I'm already 8 hours ahead of time and I already know what's going on.
I don't know how to do this.
Use the share.
Yeah.
Look, you see the green button on the bottom that says share screen.
Yeah. I thought that's what I did. Let's see. Go back. Okay, I see it. It says your video is paused.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, you can see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay. Let's use this. You see?
Yeah. Ooh.
Do you see what happened? Did you see that it was that corporate action with Pfizer? That's what Sonny was mentioning. So I saw that. I saw the news before I checked the options.
Right.
Was that you I was talking to you about Pfizer with?
No, I think that may have been Deshandra.
Yeah.
But wait, Angela, what does that mean? That's part of the corporate action. Your two Pfizer calls $50, January 15, 2021. Positions are now Pfizer 1 call $55 position.
I think when Pfizer acquired they went through some actions. I think they acquired this company. What's the name of it? Hold on, let me show you right now. Hold on, let me go back to my message.
Because they partner with biotech.
Well, if this is the conversation I was having earlier this morning, I was on my nerd stuff. So somebody had brought up Pfizer, but China had pulled back on. China had bought out Pfizer, right? But there's a lot of distribution that's supposed to be where China is X'd out. So it makes it where the sales will start going down on that.
Right.
This is what we had the conversation on. Well, somebody had brought it up yesterday in the investment chat, but this is what we were talking about this morning when I put that in the information. In the chat.
You see, it acquired this Viatris company. Beatrice and Viatris, and that's why it changed I think that's why the name has, changed over.
So now
But
it's PFE1.
yes. So this is how this is basically what happened when I closed those 2 contracts. It was a little higher than that also. Like if I did it if I had it early, because this was around 12 o'clock when I did 11:43. If I did it, the first thing in the morning, if I saw that, I was interviewing this morning, so I didn't see it until after the interview, and then when I saw it, it already dropped down to 30. I think it might have went up to like 34 or 35.
Brother African Emporium put in the chat piece, Brother African Emporium. He put today, Pfizer announced today a definitive agreement to combine Mylan with Upjohn, Pfizer's off-patent branded and generic established medicine business, creating a new global pharmaceutical company. Pfizer shareholders would own 57% of the combined new company, and Mylan shareholders would own 43%.
You see, I was trying to pull everything out of my Robinhood, but you see all of these options.
Right.
These are all like, I'm just trying to just close these out because I just wanted to move everything to Webull, but then I realized I would keep the stocks that I have in Robinhood, which is not a lot now because I had it taken out a lot of that already.
Right.
But look at my options. All of these are out of the money.
Right. But they 4 out, so you got time.
Right, but you see that like this.
That Ericsson stock, I tried to wait on that. Oh my God, they're taking a long time. I thought they should have already came to fruition by now.
Exactly. When we first saw that, Eric, I should have sold it a long time ago. I think I missed.
Can you put it? I was going to ask you about the expiration date.
Yeah.
Oh, the expiration dates are in December. Like, see, my
you can
C
see them right here.
12-4.
No, I can see them now. I'm kind of blowing it up. What?
Okay. My C is 12-4. Look, it's not doing the C. I expected to move up a lot, but then after the Trump stuff, it dropped. The VFC, that's Vans. I'm hoping it goes. It's starting to come back up again, but I don't know if it's gonna reach what it did when the news came out about Vans.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this? This is a BlackBerry put that I just got today. It's just nothing. I was reinvesting what I got out of the Pfizer thing. This British tobacco.
Right.
I also expect that. Well, I still, expected that to go up. But again, with the Trump stuff, it just came back. It just came all the way down.
That one is a what? Is that one a put?
The BTI was a call.
So you would have strolled back on that little
You see, like there's sometimes when I could have
came out right there.
I know, because these are times when I missed it, like in the morning. Okay, the BTI stuff.
9:45, in between 9:30 and 9:45. You better get them.
Let me tell you, the BTI is fun. The BTI, a lot of that stuff is overnight.
Okay. Oh, so they're doing a lot of after hour.
Overnight, yeah. See, I don't have any of my Apple in here. I have that in my stash. Okay. And JD now with the Chinese stuff going on. JD and PDD, they were affected a little by the Chinese stuff happening, but I'm expecting those.
Yeah, I hadn't played any options this week yet. Had some business I needed to take care of, and I wasn't able to watch it, and I didn't know which direction I needed to go in because I didn't do any studying.
Yeah, I don't have anything really much in my stocks.
But I probably would have made some pretty good calls. But we did a really good trend last night and going through some charts. So wait, you over here putting
I know, I'm sorry. I have to change it now. I have to kill everybody.
You worse than me.
Let me see. I'm looking at the Moderna did so.
Oh man, my Moderna killing it. My Moderna got my stash on. What?
And I only had like $35. Well, no, I think I had first.
But still, you up 7. You only had 18.
I had 17 in it.
You up? No, you got 18, and you up 17.
Okay. Yeah, that was cool. But then I think I got an option in Moderna.
Okay.
Also, or I want to get one. I don't know if I got it. What else? And that's really it. Sunrun is another one that I really like.
Sunrun was on the list for like 2 days.
I missed some news.
So you learning your Weeble? You're learning your Weeble?
I have no, because I just got to get my buying power together.
Yeah.
I get some more money. I'll do the I have to get back into the Weeble when I know it could be steady and I won't lose my options, again. Like I won't lose the chance to do my options again.
Yeah.
Weeble.
I haven't done any.
Because I wasn't doing any trading on it. So they took away my options.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't done it in a while either.
It said I'm
a
red
negative account.
Yeah, let's go. Unshare, Angi, so I can put him to sleep. Unshare.
Oh yeah.
Stop sharing, because
How do
I see the dead has arisen. Let me
I see.
Get a little noise, my little noise talker. Hold on a second. Got something for him.
I gotta learn how to use this screen. I gotta change all my codes now.
You did? Yeah, change your code. Change your codes. Hold on.
TMI.
Who's that? Is that Yoba and Angie?
Huh? Yes.
Peace, Yoba.
Peace, Oba.
I'm looking like Oba. I'm looking like Oba Africa Emporium in this piece. Look at all them tabs.
Wow.
Negative account, Mo.
Yeah, right. Ain't no nigga. I get my stuff together. I'm gonna learn. Listen, I was looking at charts. I said, I'm learning. My 2021, I have to go in with a little bang.
Can you help me with my account?
Which one? What account? Help you? You got more money than me. I'm trying to be like y'all. Like Angie, I got black box. I done move up in the world. They was like, what? Who got black? I don't know how to use it yet.
That's cool.
But African Emporium said, let's see, options come in two various calls and puts, and you could buy or sell either type. You make those choices whether to buy or sell, and whether to choose a call or a put based on what you want to achieve in an options investor. Buying and selling, if you buy a call, you have the right to buy the underlying instrument at the strike price on or before the expiration date. If you buy a put, you have the right to sell the underlying instrument on or before the expiration date. In either case, as an option holder, you also have the right to sell the option to another buyer during its term or let it expire worthless. Let me get this code. Where'd it go? Let me get this code real quick. I'm gonna get Chris. Let me get Chris together right here. Show him how we. I've been listening. I pay attention to my instructors in class.
I need to get to class more.
You need to get to class.
I do.
You playing hooky?
With the remote.
I need to. Look at that, Chris.
Nice.
You see my stash card, huh? Got money on my stash card. Put money on my stash card every month.
Hold on. Can I borrow 1,000?
Nope. Look at that.
You know I'm good for it.
Remember my retirement portfolio was in the negative?
Mm-hmm.
See that? Where Brandon at?
Oh, I'm here. I'm watching.
Look at it.
Yeah, get her, Brandon.
I really told you, get her.
Mo, it ain't up high enough.
What?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's all you got.
That's all.
I'm getting there.
Nice.
Look at my Moderna. Check it out.
Oh, you killing me on Moderna.
I only have 4. I got 3.
That's in your retirement account?
No, retirement, I got 1.
Oh.
I got 3 here. See, I got 3.5 shares there. And I got 1 in my retirement account. So I'm up $41 in my retirement account. Well, not quite 1. And I'm up. Look, I was so excited. I said, wow, I invested $213.39. And I'm up $290.53. I was going to sell it. You lucky Moderna doing well. I was gonna, but I was like, I ain't got nowhere to put it. Yeah, so my stash, it was over 2,000 earlier, so something must have dropped. I was so proud of it. This is my retirement one. Remember, my retirement was in a negative. What was that, last month? I'm up 6%. That's look at my my long-term mix. My long-term mix looking good. But guess what? I'm putting money in it, as you can see. Remember, I talked about when I was at the state, working for the state, I used to do $100 a month. So I'm getting myself back into that mode of putting away a certain dollar amount per month. So I did that. I got that so I like my long-term mix. But look, my Moderna is up 45%, and then my Amazon.
Hold on, how you get out of the negative like that?
Oh, look,
put you back there.
Moderna put me at the negative.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got to make sure you get back to the negative.
What in the world? Why would I gotta go? So I'm building I'm building that. So I like that right there. And look, my stash card. I put $20.
Hold on. Why you only got $27 in your stash card?
Because I put 50 in my Acorn.
Oh, okay.
I put 20 in Robinhood. I got 50 on Acorn, and I got 100. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't understand. I was just spending. When I see how much I'm saving now in these areas, I'm like, wow, I was stupid. I mean, I was just foolish. I was foolish. Listen.
You got your Zoom, your Amazon, and all of that connected to your stash card?
Why we had to go there? You had to bring up something else, huh? I'm gonna get there.
You don't. Oh my God, Mo.
Wait, I have to get in my mind to put
it's
the money.
Going on a year now too. Just to let you know.
I have to listen, 2021, I'm gonna take all of them, I'm gonna put the money on my stash card, and then I'm gonna link my stash card to the account and let it pay for it. I just have to get that in my mind. You know, I'm a little slow.
Okay.
But all these ones, look at my stash parties. My stash party's making some money.
Mm-hmm.
My little stash party's growing. Check them out. My little sense is growing. I might need to put something in Honeywell. But go through this list, see which one of these people I want to start increasing. Look at Uber.
Brandon also heard you too, so Brandon, don't let her off the hook.
What?
Oh no, I got you, Chris.
What is your brother? Look at some of these stash parties. I need to be paying attention to some of them because I need to increase my investments on those. Now that's my stash. Hold on, we ain't done yet. Uh-oh, get out of that. Hold on, let me log off. Let me stop sharing. Somebody gonna have my whole dang account. Then I'm gonna be broke. Let me log out. Let me go to my hood. Shoot, I'm super excited. I started my little journey. It ain't even more than a year. Shoot, let me tell you something. You ain't got to worry about me not saving no money. I'm in there. This has been a vehicle for me to do the right thing and create extra instruments Now I'm working on, that's why I'm working on my charts. Because if I get that skill set down and make a few more better decisions, oh man, I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be in there for real. That's where I want to be. Then I'll be able to attract me a little fella. Say something, Chris. Say something crazy.
Come on, Mo. Stop playing.
Great.
Everybody know you got to start in 5.
Don't have a start. I don't have a start. Look at that. Look at that, Chris. I'm not winning though. As you can see, I'm not winning in Robinhood. So look at that. I'm in a negative.
Robinhood is very hard to do these options on. So
But I was doing good though, Edge. I was up like $230 something. And I start fooling around.
Mm-hmm.
So look at my so I'm trying to I gotta work on I have to work on getting these back up. You know, I had some pretty good ones in the beginning, and then I went through them and tried to revamp. And obviously, wait a minute, how you get this thing to go down? And I think that some of these is okay. Hey, how do I get rid of this right here? Chris and Brandon, right here. This stock right here, I wasn't even paying attention to it. MGN, MGEN, and I guess it delisted or something. So these are the ones I got in Robinhood, and I don't know. I have to figure it out. Let me get them right. But for the year to date, I ain't hitting on nothing. I got the money in the shares, you know, but I'm not hitting on. I'm not really, you know, up like I was before. My year to date. See right here when I was doing really good. See, I was up $312. And then I started fooling around, you know, call myself trying to learn how to take profits and things of that nature. And look where I'm in. I'm in a negative now. So I screwed up all of those profits right there. That whole $323. Bomber. So now I'm in the repair mode. I gotta fix it. But I mean, the money's there. I just gotta work on that. So I don't know. I'm trying to study my charts to make sure I do a better job.
Looking at the screen that way can be really misleading because that's only representing the money that you put in there.
Yeah, but I want it to be
when you're taking out your money, it looks like you lost a lot, but you really didn't because you might be moving it around.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I guess I could say I didn't lose any money. That's only the money I put in, so I didn't gain any money. That's the deal.
No, I see some gains. I see like your
peak.
Where you had like some, what did you call it? Some large increases with.
You talking about here?
It was a different screen.
Oh, when I did like this, when I went to like the weekly.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, you see, you have a drop when you're taking out, but then you might have, you know, put in for another option or whatever, and it shows this a large increase. Each of these peaks.
Yeah, that's when. See, when I first started, I was on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was picking some really good stocks that I was getting some really good gains on. And then I just screwed up. Then I just started, as I started trending sideways. And then that's when I started trying to go and realign it and pick out some stocks that I thought I could benefit from. And then I just went, boop. I was like, oh,
what
man.
What date was that, Monica, that drop?
That was me. That was me trying to.
You took out and you started to move.
Yeah, I didn't withdraw though.
Okay. Oh.
I didn't withdraw. I just took the money out of one company and put it somewhere in another company.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I shouldn't have done that because the choices I chose it was
no, I really think that what date was that? Because we had some dates that caused that.
This was August the 31st. This is when Tesla and Apple did the splits, the forward splits.
Well, each of those big drops, I know those have to be one of those dates. Like
I could tell you this one right here. This is my when I thought I was back on the rise, that was my Baba. I should have, that's when Baba dropped. I missed that. I should have come out because I had started to my gains. I started to go back up. So I missed it, and so I end up losing that much because I was up like 100 and something bucks on my Baba. I sold it though, but I'm gonna get back in it when I think that
the Chinese things.
Yeah,
Chinese
I
stuff.
sold it because I didn't want to lose no more. Because I had gotten in it. I was in it at $214. And it had gotten up to 309, 306. Let me see. Like a month ago. Well, I think it had gotten up to it had got up to 318. And I should have, and I did not pay attention to this right here. Let me expand it. We talked about this last night, but African Emporium went through it extensively. How how I actually could have seen this coming.
It was floating.
Yeah. Yep. I could have, and so we talked about that last night, and so I learned some things about, reading the chart. To the volumes and things of that nature, to be able to catch that next time in the future. So right here, I should have been able to take some profits. When I seen it on a down trace, I could have waited and then came back in.
Okay.
So what I did was I came out earlier. I sold earlier to what today is, the 2nd. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna wait to see what happens, and then I'll go back. So I'll just hold on to that. It's in my buying power. I'll just hold on to it and I'll come back to it. So I didn't like that move. That was one. And I used to have some really good stocks in this account. That's why I was up that much money.
I remember when it was just you had a real, but that's when before you started doing any kind of options and all that stuff, you were just putting money into your stocks.
Yeah, I was just putting it in. So I stopped for a while because I need to figure out how I'm gonna make them plays again without touching the ones that I want to keep for long term that I was benefiting from.
Right. That's why I kind of froze and like just stopped everything, that all the movement that I was doing, because I just saw stuff just going down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Because this was inevitable what was going on, because it was all predicted about how things were gonna go. But the crazy news stories, they just had the market so volatile, which is inevitable also.
Yeah. Now I'm super ecstatic about my Weeble. Same thing. I had to get that back under control. I'm up in Weeble, but I only have 4 stocks in Weeble. And that's Qualcomm, CRISPR, which is really I think it's RP. Nope. What's my darn ticker? There it is. CRISPR Therapeutic. I have that one. That's really doing good. I've been in this one since $86. And then I have somebody listed around here somewhere. I think I forgot to call. I got Qualcomm and I don't know how to get to it. But anyway, it's around here somewhere. But that one.
Yeah, I only have a few in Weibo also. Only Black Rock. I still have a little Black Rock.
Yeah.
The Medallia, which was going up and then it came down after after Moderna started going up. It's like Medallia seemed to be going down. Then I still like Kodak. Kodak is, even though it goes down a lot, it always, is a good account to do little options with, little trading with.
I have
in the polymet mining.
Yep. Do you have fuel cell energy? This little thing, boy, I got this little thing. It was $3.76.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look what it's doing after hours. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong one. That's the month. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So it has really gone. I should have got out. What is it? $11. I should have sold it, but it's still good. I got it in 376, and it's at 744. So I'm up $18. But this whole account though,
nice.
I'm up 29%. So I'm loving it. So I'm trying not. So I'm not gonna do like I did last time, sell them and try to do options with them. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna put the money in it if I want to do an options play. I'm gonna put the money in it. Now my Think or Swim, I earned money in that one, and then I played some options, but I could do a really good job. Now what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to, like some people, they play the options, they play it in the money and, pay 100 and something bucks or 200. I want to be able to save my buying power to get to that point. So when I want to make one of those decisions, I can, because I can do a really good job sometimes. Like I be knowing this part right here. I can catch this every morning because I be like, it's either going to go up. I already know when, what's going to cause it to go up with my, by looking at the indicators and things like that. So I can either make the call or the put play. And I know don't go past the, 9:40, between 9:30 and 9:45. Girl, come on out of that thing, get your money and roll out.
Right.
Yeah. So when Brother Africa we're talking about most people, they trade by 10 o'clock, they on the golf course. I'm like, yeah, I could be one of them people for real. Because I've watched that both ways, going either it uptrending or it pulling back in that first hour or that first 30 minutes of trading. Every morning I can catch that, boom, make my play. So that's what I'm at now with my mindset. I'm like, I'll make a play, I'm gonna make it in the morning, and then I'm not gonna worry about what else is going on for the rest of the day. But I want to be able to catch my little profits, whatever the dollar amount, and go ahead on by my affairs.
That's early in the morning. That's school time for me, which is SUCKX.
I know, but you buy your options, or I mean, you buy them far out, so you could, whatever day.
Yeah, again with the vans, it was so crazy because I had 3 chances to close out on that. Each time it rolls, I could have closed out on it, and then now it's kind of like evening out at a comfortable rate, but it's not gonna make me any money until much later. I might have to change the date, go further out to make anything on the vans. But I have some stock in it though, because I know that's definitely gonna make money long term.
Right. Yeah, I'm so my day trading, I've gotten really good now with holding it overnight, like you said, pre-planning and then holding and then selling it. Don't sell the same day, because boy, I was trigger happy on that same day, boy. Robin Hood and Weeble slapped my fingers. So now I know, it forced me to start doing my due diligence and planning out my trades. It kind of forced me to do it.
You want a crash course?
Yeah, girl, I was crash coursing. Please, I was killing it. And
this is the only time we had to learn like this little break here, this leverage playing field here.
Yeah, and I was scared. Let me show you. I got black box now. Now I don't know how to use
it.
Huh?
Nice. That's what you were saying before. That's cool.
Yeah, but I gotta go through the little training tools, so I could get the benefits from it and everything. I'm not, of course, I'm nowhere can tell anybody about this tool. However, it is 60% off right now. Brother African Emporium was showing me some things on it. So I'm gonna try to learn how to read the alerts and things of that nature, so I can make some decisions and catch me some dollars. I'm gonna go through and do some some trainings and everything. But I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna make some decisions.
How do I get Ripple?
Ripple.
It's gonna be freaking double the price by the time I get it.
Did you log into one of their Coinbase accounts?
That's what I have to do. So I need a link, because I had to ask for a link, because I'm
Brandon, put your link in the Zoom chat.
All right, I got you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Because I'm locked out of mine. That's for sure. Yeah. So I don't really know how to use my black box yet, but I'm gonna learn. When I'm at the flea market, I'm gonna start training myself on it, watching the videos, seeing what benefits I can get out of it. Yeah. So
you taught me patience, Monica. Like, I know that I gotta just wait a little, let like you said, let the interest, let the little dividends, let these little things build it back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And just like pace them out instead of trying to get in one big hit,
Yeah. So I had set myself a goal to save a certain amount of money, and with a little bit at a time, because I just wanted to be able to get back on track of what I was doing when I was, holding down a job when I was still, before I got injured. So I wanted to be able to get back to that point, and not exalt all my money all the time. And so this helped me out a lot, man. Y'all don't understand. This investing, it helped me out a lot, because I don't even look at it to take the funding out. I just I say, okay, I'm just going to use what I have, but I got to build it up first, build up the account, and then I can use some of it in the account. That's what I was doing. And I was making some option plays, build it up. And I was like, okay, if I could get it to like 150, I can make 2 option plays with the $50. Maybe I find me some calls or some puts that's like less than $50, and make a few plays, and then leverage that money, and then do some more. And I was doing a good job. And then I got busy and I wasn't paying attention. So I lost money, and I was like, okay, nope, I need to stop until I get my portfolio in the positive. Once I get in the positive, my percentage is up, because I wanted to be able to have at least, initially 8% gains in my portfolio, but I'm in my stash. Of course, Moderna has put me higher than 8%. But of course, I got to get the Robinhood back, and then I got my Weeble back to more than 8%, and my Thinkorswim, I got to get that back. Now my M1, I got an M1 account too that Chris gave. My M1 account, earlier I was at 11%. So I'm pleased with that. Yep, I'm at 11.46%. So, and that's just on $100. So I'm at $111 in that. So and I put $20 in that every month. So I just want to be able to keep those accounts with more than 8% gain for the, annually. So I'm working on not, putting them into equity, not touching it, allowing it to grow, just constantly. And then with extra money that I may have, then I'll make an options play. So I probably won't make an options play maybe twice a week, if that. So I'm strategically, I'm planning out my options now. Yep.
That's good. That's it.
Yeah. So, I done had my excitement and got overexcited for the
Did you guys talk about the ETFs?
Oh, Brandon's transitioning to ETFs. I have 3 of them, I think. I have
I thought I read some news that a lot of ETFs were gonna be closing out.
Yeah. Let me see if I can bring it up. I did. Yeah. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I think I've seen the same thing too. I think those were mainly, like real estate ETFs. And then something else. Somebody put it in the back chat, right?
Yeah. They had put that, I think it was Chris. Chris dropped off. Yeah, they said, I think the article said how to recognize if your ETF is closing out or something like that.
Probably, yeah. It's probably Chris or
yeah. But Brandon, you're getting into more ETFs though now, right? I got 2, I think, or 3.
Oh, 100%, yeah. One was TAN, which was that solar play, which deals with like EV stuff.
TAN?
Yeah, TAN, TAN, yep.
How much is that? Oh, I can afford that. Well, I can work on it. So
I think I noticed VOO Vanguard.
Yeah, that's Vanguard.
Let me write all these down.
That's kind of a regular one, kind of like with the SPY. Well, it kind of moves like the SPY, right?
Which one?
VOO, the Vanguard. I don't know. I'm so bad at the names.
Vanguard Index.
Let me see. VOO.
The
Vanguard 500 Index Fund.
Let me see if it moves with the SPY. I'll tell you in a second. Yep, it moves with the SPY. It moves exactly with the SPY. Yep, I think I like this one.
Yeah, I noticed today. I was thinking of getting an option today with that, with my ice cream money.
You see what ice cream money? Okay.
It was like, I got $60 for Pfizer. Goes right back.
Type in a Vanguard listings, a list.
Wait, wait. You want to type?
Yeah, type in Vanguard ETF list.
In Google?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the third one down.
This one? The third link?
Yeah, third link down. Yeah, that one right there.
This one or this one?
The top one. Yeah.
This one? The one that says fund list and index and active mutual funds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once it gets done loading up, scroll all the way down. You can do your own due diligence, but those are all the tickers for each Vanguard ETFs. And basically what I do is I go through single file one at a time. I look at the year to date, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, see how it's doing. And also I look and I see what's in the actual ETFs. So normally the ones I stay away from right now is pretty much all the bank. I'll probably look at the bonds. But the VOO is in there.
I'm just scrolling through to see what I'm looking at. He says one of these.
Yeah, I think you passed it up.
Oh, I passed it up?
No, keep going, keep going.
Down or up?
Not down.
Oh.
That's another one right there. The VFIAX, that's another one I'm looking at.
Okay.
Then you have another one right below it for dividend growth. And I think that's the one I put in my my M1.
The dividend growth? Oh,
Yeah,
this
I know.
one right here?
Yeah, I think it's doing terrible right now, but it's still showing a good rating right now.
My M1 is domestic growth.
Domestic growth.
Uh-huh. It's up 11%.
Yeah, I might have to change mine then. I got to try to be like you.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know why I chose. I just chose. Don't even ask me why. I don't know. I guess it'll be on this list though, right? Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
It has Vanguard. Okay, so that domestic growth got two Vanguards, VOT, VBK, and then it has Schwab Strategy Trust. Charles. That's
Charles
it.
Schwab.
Yeah, that one. So it only has 3 ETFs in it. And man, both of those Vanguards are doing great. 15% on one, 14% on another one. And then the Charles Schwab is 10%. So their Charles Schwab, I guess, is 81 over 82. So I suspect they're on this list right here. VBK, VOT.
If you can't find it, just go all the way to the top and type in VOO.
Oh, I'm about to say I don't even know what I'm looking for. I just was strolling down. Hold on, let me go back to the top. Where do I put it in?
It should be the right hand corner.
Oh, that's because I'm on the mutual funds. I'm supposed to be on the ETS, right? I was on the mutual funds.
Well, I mean, I think they're just the same.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can see why you use this one. Look at the high dividend yield ETF. It's up. Here you go, right here. VOO, S&P 500 ETF. That's what you got, Angel? No, you, Brandon. You got that? Or Angel got that?
What's that?
You got the VEO, the S&P 500 ETF?
Yes, yes. I was thinking of getting an option with that today. That's because I saw it was going up. So I was just mentioning it because I was just asking about the ETFs because I know of them, closing, and how would that affect the other ones that are not closing? Is it gonna cause them all to go down or what?
Oh, okay. So I could, I can't put that in this one. I want to put it in my stash, but it don't come up.
Yeah, I was looking for that one in my stash too. I think certain ETFs comes up.
I know that's in Robinhood.
Is it Robinhood?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
The VOO 500.
Yeah, you can trade options on it.
I think, I'm not sure. Hold on, let me
Check
see.
right now.
Like I don't think you can trade options on
Oh,
ETF.
okay.
Because if so, a lot of people be killing right about now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could trade options on it.
Yes, you could.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure
Oh,
can. I'm looking at them right now.
I'll try that new strategy.
It's big money though.
How much is it?
Yeah.
It ain't no change, that's for sure.
Oh, everybody know you got it. Stop playing.
Sure. I won't even spend $60. You try to get me to spend $500.
Every time I want to go on SPY, I'm like, I'll be lucky if I can get one I can afford.
No, sometimes you could get SPY.
Mhm.
You could get the watch, let me go to bar chart. You can get the SPY sometimes. Cause I've gotten a SPY. So you know if I've gotten a SPY, everybody can get the SPY.
It is easy. It really is easy to make off the SPY because of the volatility, because it goes up and down, up and down. Up.
Yep, it goes up and down, boy. And if you could get it, if you know how you look reading in your charts, you could definitely. Cause I do it sometimes. What it is? Let me see the 4th. I got a train tonight. I can't play till 2 a.m. tonight. A train. Miss my train.
So I'm getting ready to do the Acorn, the Thinkorswim, Coinbase. Coinbase is my priority because I have to get that Ripple.
Did you get Brandon's link?
No, not yet. I'm gonna send it to
Oh
the
my
actual.
goodness.
To the okay, thanks.
Look at the calls on SPY, Angie. We could have paid for this $66. Look at that. Open the volume to just today on the $370 call. 106,180 contracts just today. Or 6. Oh yeah, girl, we could have got a couple.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
We could have made. Let's see, what is that? What is trading at right now?
Wow.
366. This is for December the 4th. This is for the December the 4th. Look at that. Even this. See, I take a chance on one of these and take my little $25, $50 that I make on it and keep it moving. Yup. Yeah, so you can get some SPYs sometimes. The puts is heavy on the puts though. Then the calls. So, but even the puts, you can afford that. But yep. Yep. So
isn't that something? That's amazing. That's a one for like $3.
Yeah. But even doing the and that's cheap compared to some of the other stocks and their prices. Shoot. Oh my goodness. I wanted to do one on I wanted to do Novax. I wanted to do
right.
So,
Moderna, Novak, they're up there.
Goodness. I was like, man, I can't afford that. I ain't even try. I ain't even.
Yes, stay in our lane.
Yeah, I definitely stay in my
lane. The little lane.
I was so.
I'm following you, so I'm like half. I'm not even into your lane yet. I'm just beginning and totally.
I'll pass. I was like, no, I can't afford it. but I wanted to do. I should have done it. Fuel cell energy. I should have done it because I have watched that during price action. And I probably could have.
Diego, wow, look at that.
I could have done it good.
Nice.
Yeah, but before it went this, look, we could afford it. We could have. It has gone to $11 before. In the last couple of days, and I watched that price action, and I'm like, why didn't I play that options at the $3? Because I knew it was gonna go up. Oh, they got stash party tonight? Wait a minute, let me find out. Oh, and stash party tomorrow. We got 21 hours. 21 hours for stash party.
Such a good look. Wow. How
you
does
send me your email?
Say it again.
Hey, in the back check, you send me your email, and I'm gonna put it into mine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, oh man, that's good. I can't do too much studying, y'all. I gotta do training. I missed my training at 4:00. So I have to let me see. So for the new year, I'm going to for the new year. So I'm trying to get my accounts back online. I want to be able to make 8%, at least 8%. If I make more, I'm gonna be super ecstatic. And then I'm gonna do a better option plays. But I gotta read my charts though. So I got a few indicators down pack, and I'm learning the volume, how to do the volume. And I'm gonna go through I want to do the Greek, Angie. So Brother African Emporium sent us a PDF. So I'm gonna start studying that because I want to be able to read the Greek for the options.
All right. So I'm gonna start studying that so I can start understanding.
Did you get the PDF? Did you get the PDF?
I thought I did before. Is this something? I think he shared the things with the Greeks and before.
Yeah. So I sent it to you again, and so we could get it popping in 2021. Let's set some first quarter goals.
Yeah.
Hey, Mo, you send it to me too?
Huh?
You send it to me too again?
Okay, I sent it to you. So we can set some first quarter goals and see what we can do. But I love you guys. I thank you guys for being on.
We love you too. We love you. Love you guys.
Yeah. But my trainer's waiting for me, so I have to get off this live stream. So I can go.
Thank you. And you're gonna have to do some editing on this tape. No more sharing screens. No, let me stop. Let me play.
I know. Yeah. No more. Uh-oh. Yep. Before you fall asleep. So, peace, you guys, and I see you guys.
Some emojis.